Wait, can you still hear the harpsichord?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Welcome to our show.
Welcome to the show. Dick
actually
around for a little while before we do anything.
Oh yeah, always.
Yeah. Oh, hey, we're streaming.
We're streaming. Are we
Okay,
live?
well, hey,
Yeah.
I gotta share this with you guys because I was messing around.
Oh no.
I have a full theme for us.
Oh yeah.
I have a full theme. Here it goes. Here's our theme for our campaign for the in-between. It gets better.
Oh.
Ah,
That is amazing.
I love it so much.
Now I need to go into
Amazing.
Final Cut Pro with the dollar bill font that they have for the book. So get a title, floaty 3D title for us.
Are we gonna need to hire a producer? That's what I'm hearing.
Well, all of the profits have to go to something, some sort of reinvestment.
How about getting me real light instead of arm lamp that keeps falling down?
I refuse.
Pull up the old Twitter, Twitch
chat.
chat.
Say
Twitch.
hi.
Oh yeah,
we
and
are live.
I gotta host you for all my 0 followers.
Oi,
Yay. Okay, post
oi,
it on
we're
the socials.
orphans.
Here we. Oh
Host.
no.
Gonna host at Mamagster.
Hosted.
Bam. You're so hosted, it's great.
And this is how we play the games.
And then there's some chat pop out. Yeah.
I can close Twitch, get chat open. Hello, internet.
I'm ready to chat it up.
Spoopy. Okay, I've got the rule books. Got that open.
Oh yeah,
I
I
did not
have
have that open, but I probably should.
no rule book, but I don't usually. That usually doesn't stop me.
I was gonna say most of it's in the character keeper anyway, right?
Yeah.
Most of what we will be worried about.
I played a one-off last weekend and had no rule book. Which is like, all right,
No rules.
Let's do it.
no
Chaos.
rules. Just
We've
improv.
all just become dependent on going, Mark, tell us what to
What
do.
we do.
I feel like I have modeled that behavior.
Yeah.
Mark, I
Fortunately,
didn't read anything.
I did actually read through them,
nice.
but as usual, most
Never
rules
mind.
are like, I have a feeling I'll understand that better in practice when we do it.
when we start doing it.
'Cause
Well,
somebody was like, what?
So the Between, like Brindlewood Bay, has an amazing session 1 chapter in it. So even if you've never run the game before or know anything about it, you can like literally just open it up to that chapter and be like, cool, I'm gonna read these things and make the game go. So that's what I'm gonna do. Step 1, read the rule book. Done.
Step
Boom.
1, cut a hole in the book.
No.
Profit.
Wrong thing, sorry.
We got dice, we got things, we got all the stuff, got a mastermind, unseen, great, all that's good. Gather participants, did it. Oh, we're doing so great.
We've done so many things already.
We win.
I printed out the reference sheet and have it on the screen because 2 screens is not enough for me, apparently.
Gotta kill some trees.
On the off chance that people actually wind up watching, do you want to do introductions?
Hi, everybody.
Hey, everybody.
We
This
should,
is a gaming group.
regardless of what the reality is, we should probably always stream as if it was a big stream.
Maybe.
yeah,
We're
we should.
Professionals.
At least out of respect to anyone who stumbles across it.
Yeah.
And
Make every viewer feel special.
Exactly.
Well, I'll start then. I'll keep it brief. I'm Mark. My pronouns are he or they. I'm going to be running this game. We've been running games for a long time. I live with Nicole, and I'm great friends with Heath and Peter. We've been doing games and theater together for like forever, a long time. And this is my first time running or playing The Between.
But not your first time playing a game or running a game by this gentleman.
No, not at all.
His minieth time of that.
How about Heath? Go for it.
Hi, I'm Heath. Heath Allen. I'm an actor and a musician, and I wear lots of metaphorical hats. I like playing games. It's me. And I drink water from a comically large bottle.
Whoa,
Far more entertaining.
That bottle needs to be upside down and have little paper cups that people drink out of.
Or just a little like ball bearing hamster.
Oh God.
Yeah, hang it.
He took a water cooler bottle and is now drinking out of it. Well, I can't pretend to don't live with Mark now because he outed me.
There goes plan A.
There goes plan A. I'm pretending to be somebody else.
We're in different rooms. That's fine.
We're in different rooms of a house. I'm Nicole. I use they, them pronouns. And I am interested in making science a place where people all feel like they belong. And I use lots of theater, play like RPGs, and social justice theories to do that. And that is how I met many of these fine folks through theater. I'm happy to be playing tonight.
Yeah, excited. And Peter.
Peter, greetings from Canada, he, him pronouns. I used to be an improviser in Austin. That's where I met all of these folks. Now I am not doing improv because I am locked down because of the pandemic and because it is currently minus 25 Celsius here, which is I think minus 5 Fahrenheit. So
that's getting close, yeah.
Indoors, it's hitting. It gets closer and closer to the point where it doesn't matter what system you're using.
Yeah,
and then we're about the same.
But yeah, I think this started as a online pandemic gaming.
Oh yeah,
group, right?
Literally the board game pandemic.
Yep.
Well, we started as a not online pandemic.
Right. Game. The last in-person like event I ever ran was all of us playing Pandemic on March 17th of 2019.
And then we took it online during the real pandemic.
And we're all color coordinated. That's very nice.
Oh yeah, I think we all knew about the colors.
We're Texas cold. We're at 40 degrees. I know Peter's laughing at our 40
Peter
degrees.
has the Canada colors. Canada version.
The sanctioned
Canada 30s colors here. I think that counts.
We got
-1.
Hey people, I think we have a record. I see at least 2 chatters.
Oh my gosh!
Chaotic Blade is hanging out until their own between game. And then Chaotic sent the link to I Am a Trix.
Oh my gosh.
They'll be here till the same between game.
And they're going to play the between later. So that's super exciting. Let us know what channel y'all play on.
It's a between party.
Yeah, we'll hook you up.
Watch Betweens. Between the Betweens.
Is that the after show?
The next between.
That's the podcast.
Sweet. So the next part in the awesome step-by-step rules are the cats, which we do sometimes, but that's the concept, aim, tone, and subject matter of the game, just to prepare not only us but anyone who's watching to know what they're getting into, because especially for this game. The purpose, So the concept, the between is a role-playing game about a group of mysterious, important monster hunters in Victoria, London. These hunters learn about various monstrous threats in the city and conduct investigations or hunts in order to neutralize them. Over time, they become aware of the plans of a criminal mastermind who is pulling the strings behind the scenes. The hunters will eventually be forced to confront this criminal mastermind in order to save Queen and country. It's directly inspired by TV show Penny Dreadful and other British horror classics. Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, pulp stuff, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, From Hell, Sweeney Todd, all that stuff. Great stuff. And the game's mechanics are inspired by Apocalypse World and most directly Brindlewood Bay, which we played a campaign of all the way up through the Fruitful Void and did it. So that's cool. The aim of the characters in the story is to keep London safe by investigating these monstrous threats and learning how to stop them. Our aim as players is to learn more about these characters' mysterious pasts, as well as to paint a vivid picture of our version of Victorian era London, a responsibility we all share. The aims for today's sessions are to create introduce our characters, learn the basics of how the game works by playing it, and then having a brief debrief at the end. A debrief briefly at the end. The tone of the between is dark, mysterious, and sensual. A little bit of levity or humor from time to time is okay. Got it covered. But we will always strive to
We'll tone it down a little bit. Yeah.
Dark, brooding place that the characters exist in. Subject matter. This is the important part, especially for viewers. Murder, cannibalism, body horror, dark sexual themes, erotic sensuality, threats to animal and children, foul language, blasphemy, witchcraft, defiling graves and corpses. These are all things that may come up frequently in the game. If these things are a trigger for you, use caution. We'll also talk about safety tools in just a moment. But in the interest of setting expectations right now, you should know that the game deals with pretty dark shit. Fortunately, we do have a bunch of safety tools available. We are using the amazing character keeper that comes with it. Near the very front is our safety page, which we're not going to show off to the viewers. If you all, do you all have the character keeper up?
Yeah.
Awesome. The third tab there is safety. There are a bunch of things in there already filled out a little bit. First, always the first safety tool is open door. If anyone needs to leave for any reason, including the audience, of course, go ahead and do that. Let us know if you can, but no worries either way. We will be using script change instead of the X card. So basically, this X card plus is just like stop if you need to stop a thing. We can rewind and redo a thing. We can fast forward past stuff that we don't like. We could zoom into something that we're super into. And we'll be using our lines and veils per the spreadsheet. Line is something that we absolutely do not want in the game at all, not even off screen. This does not exist in the world. For example, right now we have harm to pet and domestic animals, homophobia and transphobia, racism and sexual assault, sexual violence, completely off the table, will not appear in this game. Veils are things that we're not crazy about. They can exist in the world, but we're never going to see them on screen. So I'm going to add mine here as well. Right now for veils, we have intimate partner violence, sexual content, and torture. Cool. There's also an ask first. So these are okay, but we might want to check in. We definitely do want to check in before we do them. These include right now dental horror, harm to wild animals, kink or BDSM, mind control, PC betrayal, slavery, and suicide. And then the fun column is the green column, where we show interest in the things that we like. Body horror, people are interested in religion and cults, rioting, and we are interested in spiders.
I want to start a fucking riot.
Spider riot.
Spider riot.
I don't know, have we ever had a game with an interested column before?
I like that.
Oh yeah, yeah,
that's quite nice.
Yeah.
Cool. I want to see some of these
there.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of blank rows at the
that's
end
part
of the
consent.
official list. So if there's anything that's not on the list that you want to add or X out or show interest in, take a minute and go through that now. And I'll keep an eye on
I think if there's anything else.
Oh no, the dental one. Thank you for who put that. I agree.
And as always, we are human people. If I or anyone else steps over one of those lines, just say, whoa, whoa, whoa. That is a line or a veil. Or even if it's not on there, if you are not interested in eye injuries, for example, which has no marks there, just say, stop in the moment. We'll talk about if that's an actual thing in the moment that we don't want, or if it's a line across the board.
Yeah, and this can be a helpful shorthand for like, oh no.
Yeah.
Internet captions,
especially if you're like
me, about me being
if you're like me, and sometimes you lose verbal when you're in fight or flight. So that could be helpful for me.
Yeah. Yeah, or put hands up. Either way is good. Just
Yeah, just like,
get our attention. No. And then we will edit whatever we need, rewind or elide that material, and make a note whether we want to or not include it in the future. Cool. It looks like that is pretty good. So on to character creation. I'm going to read the box text here because it is very well written. Well done, Jason. Great writing.
super well.
Before we begin character creation, I want to share a few more details about the fucking lamp.
That's about the lamp.
really good writing.
Is
really
this about to be a commercial?
A row for lamp so I can show that. Here we go.
Stop
Interest,
talking about
lamp,
interest
lamp.
and Mark talking about his lamp.
There we go.
These characters, the hunters, are the current residents of a place called Hargrave House. Hargrave House is a mansion on Belgrave Square in London. We'll look that up. The people who live there share the common goal of defending the city from whatever dark forces are lurking in its shadows, be it monster or murderer. They operate outside official channels, frequently tackling cases that Scotland Yard can't or won't. Importantly, Hargrave House, it's going to be a hard time, existed long before the characters took up residence there, and previous residents were doing the same work. By the time we join these characters, they have already been living and working together for a time. We don't dwell on how they came to live at Hargrave House, nor do we care about who owns or funds the place. We may learn more about those things in the future, but for now, Hargrave House just is what it is. Another thing to know, important, is that these characters are to remain mysterious. We will avoid talking about their pasts, both in and out of character, unless we are prompted to by the game's rules. The reason we do this is because there's mechanical stuff that lets us learn about the characters in play. That's really cool. It's a little bit like watching a TV show. We don't learn everything about the characters all at once. The information is given to us in pieces at dramatically impactful moments in the story, often through flashbacks. And now I will give a brief summary of each playbook. I'm going to leave out the factotum because I think it probably doesn't fit with the vibe of the group, but if you are super into it, we can totally play it. The vessel is a magic user, which they are in regular contact with, and the obsession of dark entities that give them their magical powers. Throughout the game, you'll explore their history with these dark entities, as well as with a coven of witches they used to be a member of, but have since fled. Play the vessel if you want to explore dark rituals and what it feels like to be in control of dangerous things.
Oh, yeah.
Sexy witch. The undeniable is an immortal being.
I need more aesthetic distance than that, actually. That's daily life.
Me too, yeah. The undeniable is an immortal being of incomparable physical beauty. They've been worshipped as a god for much of their lives, and they walk through the world with an extreme sense of entitlement. Throughout the game.
Character from Los Pasiones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. Octavio.
Yeah,
No,
Octavio.
you were an Octavio.
I've already played that.
I was Gustavo, wasn't I? Was I Gustavo?
Yeah.
Gustavo.
Yeah. Armando.
Armando.
The god.
Armando. For the undeniable, throughout the game, you'll be exploring how they came to be a modern urbane god. You play the undeniable if you want to be extremely powerful, occasionally villainous, and focused on sensory experiences. The undeniable is basically Dorian Gray in the game.
Ooh.
Pretty great. The American is a gunslinger from America's Wild West. They grew up with great privilege, but abandoned it for the frontier life. Along the way, they picked up a curse that sometimes changes them into a feral beast. Throughout the game, you'll be exploring how they came to live their privileged lives and why they eventually fled to London. Play the American if you want to solve problems with violence or if you're interested in being an outsider. Cowboy Werewolf is that one. The Explorer is a member of the upper classes. They made their name and fortune mapping the unexplored parts of the world for the crown. They are also the rival of the criminal mastermind Hargrave House will eventually have to face. Throughout the game, you'll be exploring the story of a young man whose village was terrorized by the explorer when the explorer was camped there during an expedition. Play the explorer if you want to move in elite social circles, use money and other resources to solve problems, and be a rival to the game's main antagonist. The explorer is a problematic colonialist who
That's redundant.
Will be killed by someone they hurt in the past. That is part of their character.
Okay.
And finally, for us, the mother is a highly talented doctor and scientist. They lost someone they love and are using that heartbreak to fuel their creation, a person crafted from the body parts of other people, given life by experimental alchemical processes. Throughout the game, you will be exploring their past with the person they lost and why they were driven to create a new form of life. Play the mother if you want to use science and medicine to solve problems, Nicole, or if you want to delight in blood and guts, Nicole. The mother is Dr. Frankenstein. Fun thing about the mother, which is in their playbook, if and when you finish your creation, you will do a roll. If you get a mixed success, the mother goes out of play and you start playing the monster instead, or the orphan. If you fail the roll, the orphan becomes a threat that you have to fight. So all of these are great. The factotum, if you're interested, is a servant of one of the other hunters, a butler. There's stuff that makes it fun. I think for this group is probably not going to be super fun. If you read it and want to play it, that's totally cool. Basically,
there's already so many good options.
Attach yourself to another player. So cool.
It's an interesting option for sure. But
it's a very cool option.
That's awesome.
I feel like
it's not a bad character at all.
It didn't strike me as like the most interesting option, but it felt me as like a challenging option. Where it's like, if you want something that's like not as overtly like, oh, how crazy interesting off the page, but something that you're like,
if you've played the game before and you already kind of know the mechanics.
Maybe,
or also, if we had a larger group.
I think with 4 people it would be great. It's also a very powerful character. Basically, I think you get advantage or something anytime you're acting in the interest of your the person you're drawing.
That's cool.
Like basically you get to roll advantage all the time. The disadvantage
constantly helping out your employer.
Yeah, if your employer goes out of play, so do you. So
unemployed.
Unemployed. Are probably dead.
And none of the other hunters will employ you.
Yeah. So go ahead and take a look through, talk about which character you want to go through. Pick your characters, and then this character keeper is super awesome. I forget the real name of the guy who made them. They're great.
They go by Arctosaur.
Yeah, is his
I'm totally
name.
fine just picking from whatever other people don't want.
I was hoping you had preferences so I could just choose what was remaining.
I'm Mr. Random. You know me, I'm always Mr. Random. I'm like,
I think all of us are like, all of these are good.
Yeah. Do we just all roll die to decide?
My plan was to roll a die from what's left, probably.
That works, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll roll.
Okay.
Roll
how many are there?
D6.
What do you roll?
There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
All right. I guess you roll a D6 and then just don't roll if it's a
10.
D10 and a half.
Yeah.
Oh, that works better.
Yeah. That's probably interesting.
I was like, ignore 6s because
opening the dice room.
6 of 1. We are using rollwithme.xyz, which is super nice.
I rolled a 10.
Sexy
I rolled
witch.
a 10. I rolled a
Sexy
10
witch,
as well.
Double sexy witch.
So I can go one. I can go on over and be Dorian Gray if you want to be a sexy witch.
Off. We can do whatever. I don't care.
That's
or you could play the mother.
Or I could play the mother, which Mark was heavily hinting.
Whichever you like, though.
If you take the mother, I'll take undeniable, I think.
Yeah, I'll take mother then. Yeah, let's just go with.
Cool.
Okay.
Okay, so what am I, Vessel?
Vessel, you're the sexy witch.
You're a sexy witch.
So I'm going to go ahead and hide the American and Explorer columns.
American.
Great.
Okay.
So the character keeper steps you through all of the steps, which is great. You pick a name, pick elements for your character's look. You're going to pick a vice, which is a drop down. Each character has their own set of vices. One of the Americans is coffin finish, which is great. Everyone has their own there. Each one has a set of starting ability scores for vitality, composure, reason, presence, and sensitivity. You'll pick one of those scores to add 1 to. You will mark 2 questions like in Brindlewood. That's how you get XP.
Yeah.
And then if your book has you pick a move, take a look through your moves and at the bottom, the additional moves, and pick one of them. And the yellow highlights on the character keeper walks you through everything. So
I've got it, but
this is so cool.
I've got a picture. There's
so
no place for
good.
me to paste a picture.
Is there? You know what? I'm going to make another tab.
How long have you had this picture? Have you had it all
Just
day?
this afternoon. I was shopping this afternoon for my background and my and a possible picture if I was a male person, which I think I will be, so I can use my picture.
Pictures. There we go. There's a tab for pictures. Post away.
So sweet. I'll do that in a minute.
And I think this. Oh yeah, the sheet does a cool thing where after you like pick the drop downs and stuff, you hide those roles and it creates a little header for you out of the stuff you put in. So good. So good.
What's a good Victorian surname? I'm having a problem.
I know I'm on a Wikipedia page of medical
There's
physicians.
There's a drop down for it.
There's a drop down there. For it, so you
look at that.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so nice.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Oh, player name, I can do that.
Those are all on the character sheets in the Dropbox there. So
Yeah, I picked my first name, but then got stuck on a surname.
There's drop down. Oh, Malik.
yeah, drop down for everything.
Nice. Oh well, yeah, that's just right there.
Yeah, obviously.
We got Frankenstein, Dorian Gray, and a sexy witch.
Inside you, there are 3 monster hunters.
You're gonna have a bad night.
See, okay, vitality. Oh yeah, I remember what these are. I have negative reason. That's kind of delightful.
Yeah, you're the pretty one.
Would anyone mind if I just upped my presence to 3? Is that possible?
Nobody minds.
That's great. Yeah,
That
3
seems
is
on brand for
max.
Francis Quinn.
Yeah. Yeah, just to recap, vitality is for physical exertions. Composure is keeping your cool under stress. Reason is using brain thinky stuff. Presence is using your social abilities. And sensitivity is your sensitivity to...
I think if you look in the pictures tab, I think the picture I chose works great for sexy witch.
Nice. Gary.
Oh my God.
Dracula. Perfect.
I mean, really could have worked great for anything, I guess. But
Gareth
At the
Arkton.
bottom
All
of the
these names are
playbook,
so
there's
good.
a spot for linking pictures. Says someone in the chat.
oh wait, what'd you say? What?
Someone in the chat said that there is a spot at the bottom for linking.
Oh, yeah,
image
there's an
URL.
Image URL thing there. Thank you.
It's so
Yeah.
good. It is a really good character keeper.
Image
Yeah,
URL.
it's just amazing. Armortrex is playing the mother tonight. Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
The mother.
Undeniable is fun because they cause so many problems.
Okay, this picture is just leaping out and calling to me. So let's see here. Well,
I need to
put
be
the
better
URL
about
on
watching
there.
chat. This is
I know. It's so nice to actually need to look at it.
Done question for every question. The first 3 questions are always the same, but you change the last 2 every
This is my lamp.
after they.
Oh, yeah. Everyone is interested in your lamp.
I know. It's just a little bendy arm lamp that I have
Oh, I see.
balanced on the top of my other monitor. So anytime I move, it falls. I have a little ring light that the LEDs blew out on, so I can't use that.
Well, these 2
Yeah.
are obviously the ones that I want.
Yeah, definitely want some sunken eyes, hollowed out cheeks.
I mean, I kind of feel like for look, it's like, well, just look at that picture. That describes my look right there.
Yeah, love it.
Instead of all these minions, all these minions.
And don't worry about the
Run out.
masks yet. We'll talk about those in a moment after we get all the other stuff. If you remember from Brindlewood, there are you have your cozy items. In this one, they are in your personal personal quarters. Behave relatively the same, not exactly the same, of course.
I'm really torn now because I'm the sexy witch of whether my vice should be absinthe or sex with dark entities. It's a really tough choice.
Your life is full of
both good
decisions.
choices.
¿Por qué no los dos? Okay, I begin with 2 moves. Choose a second move from the highlighted option below. Oh man,
Yeah, they're all real good.
these are all so good.
Yeah, the one problem with this game is all the choices are
I
really
know.
well
It's so difficult to choose. Pictures.
Trek says, go with your heart.
Yeah. All right. Everyone else is so pretty.
Yeah, remember in the, you might have already said this, I'm sorry if I missed it. On the stats,
Mhm.
we add 1 to 1, is that right?
Yeah, you'll add 1 to one of them.
Yeah,
did you
that's
pick your look yet there?
Not exactly, just because I said see picture.
Yeah. Go ahead and pull stuff from the drop downs because that'll guide you through the next step on the keyboard. That's the one trick. If you don't follow the steps, you get.
So you have to pick from the drop downs?
Yeah, but we can. You can look however you want.
I think I'm gonna use that.
Yeah. Look at
Oh,
that.
you're so pretty.
I will eventually figure out how to show these on Twitch so y'all can see this amazing stuff.
I know. How do people do that?
Oh wait, I sent you invites to this spreadsheet, right?
Yeah.
Which means that I can share a viewable link with our
You can do a
viewables.
viewable one.
I did that on purpose. I planned ahead. Anyone with the link can view. Copy link. Cool.
I guess I don't have any more steps in the walkthrough, so I'll check walkthrough end.
Viewable link to the character keeper.
What's vermilion?
Vermilion's like a brilliant red, I think. I believe.
I mean, kind. Oh, okay. I see what you mean now.
Yeah.
Now it tells me. Add +1 to a single ability.
Scarlet. Also, E34234 if you are a web developer.
No, I'm gonna add 1 to my vitality just so I'm not such a horribly unvital person. Starting as -1. So,
Oh man,
at least make that a 0.
I really love how my stats have worked out for Francis.
Yeah, that's pretty great. That feels like exactly the kind of character.
Y'all, somebody's got to be smart. I'll be smart.
Not it. Not
Well, I
it.
mean,
Oh.
I'm kind of a lot of things. I got a 1 in reason, presence, and sensitivity.
Yeah.
Gosh, no.
I do not have a 1 in many things.
Oh, oops, I made mine. Oh, yeah, that's yours and presents.
Oops, all berries.
Composure. One with my
All
sensitivity.
presents.
Oops, all presents.
And sensitivity is similar to Brindlewood Bay, where it's your ability to kind of deal with
Connect to the
spooky.
Yeah.
spooky things.
Spooky.
I feel like I'd be pretty reasonable. Composure, vitality.
I am a Trek says, oh my god, the pictures are great.
They are.
How did you all put the picture in? You just put it.
Eventually
at the bottom.
Eventually the walkthrough will guide you down to where you enter the
Am I just following the little? Oh, there we are. Walk through end. I see. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've skipped
but yeah,
ahead.
whatever's in yellow is what it wants you to fill in next.
Okay. Copy image address. I have a image in my mind from this comic book I'm reading that my person looks like.
On the mother, did you switch around the scores?
Yes. Was I not supposed to?
Nope, you're supposed to add one to one of them.
Oh, I wanted to be smart.
Oh,
You can be smart.
Okay, let me try again. So if I put it back in voyeurism, will it reset? Oh no, I fucked it up. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I got it here. Vitality 0, composure 1, reason 1, presence 0, 0, sensitivity, and then you can add one to one of those.
I'm so sorry. Could you just tell me again?
Vitality 0, composure is 1, reason is 1, and the other two are also 0.
Oh, it does say starting. Okay, it tells me in the drop down the starting. Even if you mess up like me, it will tell you.
Awesome.
If you click on composure, it says what you start at. It is
That's
so
so
slick.
good. That's so
if
good.
you're like me and you're like, I know best, and it's not true.
3s for everything, please.
Some of us are good at following walkthroughs, and some of us are blazing our own path. Okay. I will follow the rules. Now add 1 to that.
And now just add 1 to any of them.
Okay. Reason.
Sounds like you want to.
Yes.
Sounds like somebody needs to be smart.
And that is not going to be me.
Not that guy. He's too pretty.
The brains would just get in the way.
It's an old stereotype that can't have brains and smarts. It's used often a gendered stereotype. All right. During every dawn phase, you'll go over your choose and dawn questions. Choose 2 now. Sorry, this character keeper is very lovely, but I am struggling.
Steps. So many decisions. They're all hard.
I'm choosing my dawn questions. This is so straightforward, and I'm still struggling with it. All I had to do was scroll down.
Next time we'll play 5e, it'll be easier.
Oh. We'll continue this campaign using the 5e engine.
Oh, it hurts.
Oh, I want to do the physical affection towards the child while someone is looking. Oh, I'm going to be the weird mom from Game of Thrones, aren't I?
Oh.
Yeah. Did you put your hands in a pile of guts and love every moment of it? Oh, these are so difficult to choose from. Oh. Yes.
Yes.
I have a heating vent to my right on the floor, which means that eventually I have a cat to my right on the floor. So if you see me reaching over, that's what that's
Network
about.
field medicine. And I don't need to do anything for the additional moves. Those are already set for me.
You get the child as your first move, and you can choose one additional move from.
I'm clicking those. Okay, thank you.
So you'll click one of those.
Do I want to dig up corpses?
Yeah.
Or do I want to?
A lot of them give you body parts.
Treating injuries. Examining a corpse.
Dig up corpse. Get a body part. Treat an injury. Get a body part.
Get a body part.
Look at a corpse. Get a body part. And gang do stuff.
Going.
I have a strong theme going.
Oh man, what is the vessel move? What are the vessel moves here? Divination tools.
Nice. Like a beacon in the dark.
Witch's cupboard.
Do I help my friends with medicine or do I dig up bodies?
Oh man, so many good moves.
The one thing I will advise on the mother's moves is that the night work move takes you out of the night phase. So if you want that one, great. It might be easier to start off with not that one.
Yeah.
But
okay,
either way, it's totally cool. It works either way.
I have one composure, so maybe I'm overthinking this. This is way more thought than we usually put into our characters.
This is all every single decision I feel like is critical. I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to pick the wrong one.
Nah.
This is not our way.
They're all
we
fun.
Just pick
they're all
randomly.
cool.
Yeah. And worst case, like if you pick one and it turns out that you hate it, you'd be like, I'm gonna pick a different starting move instead. 'cause this
I'm
one sucks.
picking Resurrectionist. I knew what I wanted when I first saw it. I'm done.
Cool.
Through it.
Everyone's got their stuff done. Hunter's almost
Wow,
ready.
almost done.
Looks like the vessel needs a familiar's name.
Yeah, so I'm deciding on right
Ooh.
now.
Oh, how to name your pet.
Yeah. I don't know why this came to me. It's just, I'm going to go with it, though. I have a crow, and his name is Sean.
Oh,
Yeah.
Don't know why.
Oh,
I was just, what's the name of
Sean.
my crow? And it was Sean. And I was like, all right. That's
Sean.
my-
I'll
love
point
it.
out that for the safety rules, nothing bad can happen to Sean.
Yeah.
That's
Sean is immortal.
That's, well, yeah, I certainly hope so.
Nothing ever bad.
I don't
happened to
think
Sean?
from when I read the description, it didn't sound like they were ever really in peril. It's just
Or-
like they can only ever help me specifically with their affinity.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
Crow is seeing distant places. So he only does me any good when I guess I'm trying to do rituals to like
Mm.
see a distant.
Sean
place.
can't be hurt, and Sean's teeth
Like
can't be
Beastmaster.
hurt.
Yeah. Get some pet ferrets. I can throw your image URL down there.
Yeah, I gotta figure out what the URL is because I just uploaded it from my computer.
Oh.
I borrowed one of the kids from my
Um,
favorite thing is monsters for my
yeah,
image.
hold on.
It's a book
Awesome.
I
I'm enjoying.
will upload it to my own website so that I can then use that.
oh yeah, I
as
read
the
that.
image URL.
It's
Oh my-
so good. I'm halfway through right now.
I got a copy of it in Spanish, and it was very challenging but very rewarding.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that would be interesting.
Almost there.
Almost there. Stay on target.
Oh no,
Ooh.
Lancelot the snake.
Hmm?
Oh, R.I.P. Vessel. Oh.
Wait, what?
In the chat, Chaotic Blade
Amatrax.
is talking about Amatrax is
Oh.
familiar with
Oh.
Lancelot the snake, and they have an emoji
Oh.
for it. Oh, so
I
we need
love
to make some Sean emojis.
Okay, I think I have inserted.
There's the
my-
boy. Got it.
All right, image
All right.
inserted.
Characters done. I
Damn.
love this game. So good.
Adventure
Walk
time.
through end.
All right.
All right, it's been nice. See y'all next week.
Good time.
This was
Now
fun.
we're going to introduce the characters. We're going to go around. I'll call you Mike, so there's no weirdness. Introduce your character by name, look, and vice, and tell us what your playbook moves do. And again, to emphasize a billion times, we're not doing any backstory for characters yet. So yeah, name, look, vice, playbook moves. Let's start with Heath here on my upper left.
Yes. Let me get back to
Or
my
actually,
page.
sorry, let's go in playbook order. Well, let's go
Yeah.
backwards.
Consistent.
So many decisions to make. We'll start with Heath and go backwards. Done.
Once you recognize having an audience, it changes the game.
I am Gareth Arkpenny, the vessel. What did you say? My vice, in my look.
Vice.
What do you look like?
Yeah.
My look, as you can see from the photo, he's a very dapper man with a well-tailored suit and some blue glasses and a big, tall top hat and long hair and a lovely little mustache and soul patch thing happening there. I'm sexy as hell, is what I am. And my
Goes without
vice
saying.
is absinthe, because the green fairy in the absinthe wants your soul.
Just tiny bit Scottish there.
I was more a little bit Transylvanian from
Transylvania,
That was a
there.
quote from the movie Dracula.
Oh, yeah.
The fairy in the
The
absinthe
video
wants
is
your soul.
wants your soul. Cool. Tell us about your playbook moves.
Oh, my playbook moves. Yeah, these are
Gary.
interesting. I'm not even sure. How to... My main one is the rites of salt and smoke. I'm skilled at contacting dark entities in order to perform magic rituals. And the offering I chose to do these, which we'll see how it plays out, because I don't even really know how I'm gonna I know what it means, is to summon them I have to do some perversion of Christian rituals.
Nice.
So that should be fun to try to figure out.
Won't be hard at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I can tell you anything from my childhood.
Awesome. Great. You can give me suggestions on how to pervert a Christian.
So many things. New ones come to my brain every day.
When I give offerings to the dark entities that are always lingering in my peripheral vision, I roll with sensitivity. On a 10 plus, it works with effects. There's lots of different effects. We can. I don't know if you need to go over all that, but. And then my additional move was that I took my familiar Sean the Crow.
Sean
the Crow.
Yeah.
Sean is already my favorite.
Who
Works
can
of
help
magic
me
for that.
to see distant places.
Ooh.
Is kind of his thing, seeing distant places.
Oh, and it looks like you put Sean in your personal quarters.
Oh, yes, that is true.
And will never be marked as long as that. Great. That's awesome.
Sean the Crow.
Thank you, Garrett. Let's hear from Francis Quinn. Peter.
Hey, Francis Quinn, the undeniable Dorian Gray type. His look is flawless skin, plum velvet smoking jacket, and perfectly tailored corduroy trousers. From the photo, we can also see a walrus mustache sort of thing going on. Is that an ascot? Possibly. If he's not wearing an ascot, he's wearing an ascot. He's one of those people who's wearing one, even if he's not. Let's see. And then his vice is extravagant spending. That's one
nice.
And then I went back and forth for his, the playbook move that's built in here is the reflection. Somewhere in London, hidden from the world, is a masterwork created in your image or otherwise inspired by your beauty. It is guarded by a cult dedicated to your worship. I have said that it's a portrait painting. Why make that more complicated? And how do your worshipers demonstrate they are unworthy to look upon it? I said they obtain with permission a reproduction of a 1-inch square section of the artwork, which they set up in a household shrine as the only part of the image they will allow themselves to see.
Just NFT.
Amazing. And then you can mark pieces of it to do stuff. That's great. I love it.
Yeah. And I went back and forth between Unquenchable Thirst and this one, Giveth, for my additional move. At any time, you can declare that a side character is secretly one of your worshippers. Describe how the side character subtly or not so subtly debases themselves before you in the scene, then scar your reflection. When you make a gift of something from your personal quarters to a worshipper, they will do exactly as you say, no questions asked, up to and including destroying themselves. If you demand information from them, it may come in the form of a clue at the keeper's discretion. And then there's the other thing. If another hunter debases themselves at your feet, they may take the following condition, worshipper. If they do, they mark 1 XP and you scar your reflection so long as they have the condition. The following is added to their dawn question list. It is always marked. Did you continue to perfect your worship of the undeniable? You get to answer for them. If you say yes, you mark XP instead of them. Then give them something from your personal quarters. Which
oh my God, you'd be so much trouble.
Oh, that's amazing.
So much trouble.
I remember all this.
And let's hear from Paloma, the mother.
Paloma, I'm the mother. Paloma Sathby. I use she, her pronouns. I've got hollowed out cheeks, pale skin, sunken eyes. 2 reason, 1 composure. Nothing of the other things. My dawn questions that I chose was, did you put your hands in a pile of guts and love every moment of it? And did I show physical affection towards the child while someone else was looking? I had one of my moves chosen for me, which was the child. So I have a secret laboratory. I guess it's not a secret now. I've just told you about it. In Hargrave House, where I'm building a person from the body parts I acquire in the city. When the time is right, I'll use the principles of chemistry and alchemy to give my creation life. When I acquire a body part, I get to check it off from the list. So this is great. Very straightforward. I'm just going to collect pieces of a person.
Yeah, Pokemon, basically. Yeah.
Just body Pokemon. And then my other move is the Resurrectionist, which sort of helped me with the other one, which is essentially grave robbing, I think.
Sounds like maybe I should have taken blood sacrifice for my rituals, and then we could pair up. We do a blood sacrifice, and then you get the body parts. And
I know. I was like, sounds like they could worship Peter, And then when Peter's done with them, you can have their
Pass it on.
blood, and then I get the body. Like we could just have a
Little
whole
assembly line happening.
Full party.
assembly
By the way, I
line.
put a picture of Sean the Crow in the pictures tab.
I
Nice.
need to
Aw.
see Sean.
Sean.
Where's Sean?
Sean.
There he
Oh,
is.
Sean, so pretty.
Oh, I forgot to
and-
mention my dawn questions I added.
Oh, yeah.
Did you express a clear preference for the beautiful over the mundane? And did you appear in London society wearing risque or avant-garde fashion?
Nice. And what was Paloma's vice?
Oh, my vice is voyeurism.
Of course it is. Yes. Great. So now we're going to go around again. Let's do it starting with Paloma and going up. So we're going to read the description up there in column 7 or row 7. So this will be the description of your person, the little intro, and after you read it, each of us is going to name one object or piece of equipment that we think that your hunter would have in their bedroom at Hargrave House, based on what we know about. You can veto any idea you don't like or ask for a revision, and you will write down each of the 3 items in your personal quarters section at the bottom there. So let's hear from Paloma.
Excellent. I'm gonna make mine bigger. Tiny font for my
Here, I'll bump them
weak
up.
eyes. Few understand the mysteries of human anatomy like I do. I am one of the most brilliant medical minds in London and could take my place as a lecturer at any number of esteemed academies. But I have different ideas, different plans, and I am no longer interested in merely preserving life, but creating it. And so I'll do what I must to survive. Tending to the prostitutes dying of consumption, assisting Scotland Yard with grisly forensic inquiry, and creeping about in the dark with these new people, these hunters with whom I share a home. But I'm always focused on the new life growing in my secret womb, my child, the one I hope will capture even the faintest reflection of the person I loved and lost.
Aw. Any ideas for stuff for Paloma's personal quarters?
I want there to be a mother of pearl locket
Oh,
hung on a little stand.
am I putting these down somewhere?
Yeah, so you just write them down in those boxes there.
And these back. Oh, thank you, Mark.
Yeah.
I,
You got it.
just
A
immediately
mother of
envisioned,
pearl locket.
envisioned an empty, creepy Victorian baby stroller.
Mm.
Empty pram.
Yeah, there you go, a pram.
Geez, and I think you have a not a handkerchief, but like a mechanic's rag, but instead of being covered in oil, it's covered in blood.
No.
Like a rag covered in blood.
Bloody rag. Yes.
Bloody rag.
We've
Whatever
tried
you
to
wanna
get
call it.
Paloma to wash it many times, but she,
It's
she
been
refuses.
washed.
It is washed.
Oh,
I
It
just
just has
washed
more
it.
blood on it every
This one's
time.
clean. This is the clean one.
This is clean blood. I don't understand why you think it's dirty. It's not got dirt on it. It's just blood. Blood is clean. It's the cleanest thing you could ever have. I don't know why that's the accent I'm doing, but it is.
We've learned not to ask her about the handkerchief.
Goblin voice.
Francis.
I'll continue the first person thing. I have always been the most beautiful person in the room. My looks have opened doors for me for as long as I can remember. All the money and material things anyone could want laid at my feet. Artists have found inspiration in the brightness of my eyes, the delicate curve of my cheekbones, the plump softness of my lips. One such artistic work, a masterwork, rises above them all, for it captures the essence of me. It is quite simply more me than me. Lately, people sacrifice everything to be near me, to please me, and if they're lucky, to touch me. But what to do when I get bored with being one of the gods?
Mm.
Apologies to any British listeners.
Yeah, That's why I settled on a goblin American accent.
Well, I mean, I just hate to be obvious, but I feel like he has to have like those very fancy little hand mirrors on a stand.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
that
Oh
swivel,
yeah.
and have like a magnify side and a regular side, but this is like a super fancy, intricately inlaid one.
I'm gonna put collection of fancy hand mirrors.
All right, I like it. I like it.
I'm seeing that you probably also have, since you love spending money, I'm thinking you have like a money clip that has, what is on this money clip? This also has, it has like a narcissus, a daffodil.
Oh, with a daffodil.
Yeah.
Can it be a daffodil by a waterway?
Yeah, I was thinking it was a mirror. I was like, is it? It's got a little pond, and the pond is a mirror.
Oh yeah.
Little money clip that you hold your money in.
A little money clip that is also a mirror.
You can also look at it yourself.
Money clip with a daffodil.
He gets
by
as
a
many
mirror
mirrored things
pond.
as he can.
Yeah, the mirror works both ways for that. That's nice.
I'm going to give you a tin of very rare, expensive, fancy mustache wax.
Nice. What a gift.
And there's a little mirror on top of the tin. You can.
Oops, all mirrors.
Oops, all mirrors.
If we're ever like stranded somewhere, we do not have to worry about things to signal people with.
It's like when you like buy one hippopotamus and then everyone at your work is like, you love hippopotamuses.
Francis loves mirrors.
Francis likes mirrors. Let's get him a mirror.
I said I like.
I got him a mirror for Christmas. I got him a mirror too.
Oh, I found some tinfoil you might like.
It's a Christmas miracle, everyone.
Miracle.
All right, we're done here. We finished the show. That's
Improv.
Mic drop. Hope you've enjoyed this campaign.
I've made a spoons. Let's go.
Cool. And finish this off. Let's hear from Gareth.
Gareth Arkpinner, yes. For as long as I can remember, dark entities have been near. They lurk just inside my peripheral vision. Just at the mirror's edge, Francis's mirrors. There's so many of them. When you close your eyes, I close my eyes, I can actually feel them. Their cold breath, their oily touch, an occasional feverish embrace. They want to be inside me. They want to rub against my guts and deposit their power. Others are drawn to me as well, those that would use me to master these dark things in order to serve their own agenda. Some of these interlopers, these usurpers, can be of use, such as these hunters that I share a home with. Others, like the Coven, are best avoided.
Oh no!
In either case, I am no one's object, tool, or weapon. I am no mere bystander. My fate is mine to shape.
We will not yuck Gareth's yum.
All right. What does Gareth have besides Sean the Crow?
Oh, jeez.
Can we just give Sean the Crow gifts?
Shiny rocks.
Shiny rocks. Nail polish for your sweet little toes.
An old key that doesn't go to anything.
I think I'm going to give Gareth a little I don't know, is it a brazier or a chafing dish? Something that you can like light fires in to scry flames. Scrying. It's a fire pit, yeah, mini fire pit.
A tiny little fire pit.
A brazier for scrying.
Yeah, a scrying brazier.
Oh man, I know what this looks like, and I don't know what it is. Have you guys seen like magnetized liquid?
Yeah,
Kind of like,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
yeah. So it's a glass container that has something that looks like black ferrofluid in it.
Black container of ferrous fluid.
Yeah.
Glass container of black ferrofluid. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. That's cool.
Perfect.
No, we said no BDSM. I'm imagining there's you have also like a powder puff, and it's got like very glittery powder, the magical powder puff for use on your dates with these entities.
Magical glittery powder puff. I like it. I also like that I Am a Trek says that Peter's suggestion sounds like a spooky lava lamp.
That absolutely is. Cool. We just made characters, y'all. Woo!
We did it.
I'm gonna hide the Rose 6014 there so he gives more room.
And then we're gonna give Sean some more
Boom.
gifts.
Yeah,
Shiny
Sean
things.
gets presents all the time.
Is a cup of cord for you?
Here are 2 bottle caps.
Oh,
And Sean will bring us presents. Cool. That puts us at the hour. And look at that. Step 9. Take a little break.
What?
So let's go ahead and take 5. And
Take
we'll
5.
come back and we will start the first threat.
Mwahaha.
See ya.
We'll be back in 5 minutes.
Wish I
Y'all
had a
hang
top
out
hat.
and chat amongst yourselves. We'll be starting soon.
be in 5. I didn't do a timer.
I didn't go anywhere.
He's been here the whole time.
I've
They
just
were
been
right at
here
5, so we're good.
eating my leftover Chinese food.
Mm. I was thinking we don't have to force this, but like if Lancelot the Snake happened to be in the same world as ours, it'd be really cool. If Lancelot and Sean were friends and we just followed their adventures.
Just animal adventures.
Not to force anything, but animal adventures.
Got it.
I know once
That'll be the
looking
between hack I'll make is just familiars.
Oops, all familiars.
Once I started looking at my powers, I felt a little bad for taking this one. I was like, oh, Peter probably wanted a familiar.
Oh no.
Oh, because Hyacinth is your kitty.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I've done that before. It's the thing.
When we played Brindlewood Bay, Hyacinth had a kitty. Also, no reason.
Yeah. Welcome back, everybody. We're back. Cool. So let me talk just a little bit about how the game works, and we'll just right in. We've played Brindlewood before. There are a lot of similarities with some extra stuff. The biggest change, I think, is we don't talk about our past until it's time to do that. There are, if we look on the character keeper, so XP you get for doing the Dawn questions. Dawn is one of the 4 phases. So instead of just being like, we're going to set scenes whenever we feel like it, it actually does follow a like day, dusk, night, dawn, and so on. And different things happen during different phases. The day phase is where we're going to start, and that's kind of the most open, kind of just like do what you want. Night phases are more focused and dangerous, and dawn is where we get XP and all that stuff. Not at the beginning of the session, so that's something to keep in mind. XP works the same. Mark 5 get an advancement. Each playbook has masks. Those work like the crowns in Brindlewood. So let me bring up my cheat sheet here. Yeah, so the crowns, the masks, I'm gonna call them crowns so often. They basically let you do the same thing. They you roll back what we did, and we can redo it. So if it's, I think, let me double check. I just read it and I've forgotten it already. Where is it? Musical interlude. Yes. So you'll pick a mask of the past or a mask of the future. They're called Janus masks. You read one, do its instructions, check the box. And so the mask of the past is where one of the places you can reveal things in your past. The mask of the future, it gives you extra stuff that might happen in the future and gives you some powers and all that stuff. Here we are. So kind of like Brindlewood, only probably a little bit more so. We did a lot of danger in Brindlewood, actually. There will be adversity. There will be times when you fail, and I'm like, cool, you get killed in this terrible way. That's when you can invoke one of the masks and increase your die result by 1 tier. So
and it can be the past or the future. It's our choice.
Can be the past or the future, either one, yeah. I think the last mask on the future is the one that retires your character from play. So something to
just
note.
like, instead of dying,
boom,
I'm out.
right off.
I'm retired.
I'm coming back as Lancelot.
Only
So-
Lancelot.
If I'm reading this, but if we don't mark any masks of the future, that allows us to retire in obscurity. Wait, what's that saying? As no boxes are marked, you can retire to
yes,
safety obscurity
right.
instead of putting on this mask.
Yeah. So if you don't have any of the future boxes, you can just be like, cool, I'm out, and you retire the character.
Oh, okay. It's confusing. I thought it was
So,
saying if I didn't mark any of those boxes.
yeah, let me double check here.
As no boxes are marked. That's the part that confuses me.
Let's see. That's because it's a special interactive character keeper. So if you check one of them, the text should change to mark any box you wish there. Checked, any box you wish. Unchecked, no boxes are marked. So yeah, if
if I don't mark any of those,
yeah,
then I can retire to safety obscurity.
Instead of putting on the mask, you can retire.
But if you start putting on masks of the future, it has to go and go and go until you die.
Yeah, and then the text changes to mark any box you wish. And the mark of past is checking the first unmarked box, so they tell a little story.
Oh, they're in order.
Tell a little story.
Cool. So there's those. The stuff in your personal quarters is very much like the cozy items. You can use an unmarked item from your personal quarters in an action and roll advantage with it. So you roll 3 dice and take the best 2.
Constantly pushing around an empty baby carriage.
That's the problem I had.
Once you mark it, you can't use it again until it gets unmarked. So
that coat.
Yeah, Sean can be used anytime for what Sean does. Otherwise, mark it. Conditions. If you get a condition, if the condition negatively impacts you, you roll with a disadvantage. Let's see. There's those. We talk about the moves, I guess. Very much like Brindlewood, it has a day move and a night move. Day move is very much the same. If you, you say what's going to happen. If you fail, what you fear is going to happen. If you roll a 10 plus, you're good. If you roll a mixed success 7 to 9, I'll tell you how your actions will leave you vulnerable, and then you can choose to back away and not do it if you want. Otherwise, that and 6 is a miss. Bad things happen. 12 plus, you get extra good stuff. So that's pretty much any risky actions during the day, or if you encounter something scary or unnerving during the day. Night move, same kind of deal, only at night. You say what you're afraid is going to happen, and I will tell you how it is worse than you think. You can choose to back out at that point, but if you roll, we're doing it, and that's where a mask might come in. So keep that in mind. There is the information move. So when you search for a clue, conduct research, gather information, do interviews, whatever you like, we'll roll for it with the appropriate thing. On a hit, you get a clue. There's a clue lists for the different threats, just like mysteries. On a 12 plus, you get a mastermind clue. On a 7 to 9, there's a complication. And then instead of the cozy move, there's they call it the vulnerable move. When you have an intimate moment with another hunter while one of you is indulging in your vice.
Ooh.
So not cozy, but otherwise spicy.
That would have been, I'd just be curious how that would have played out in an alternate timeline where I took the vice of having sex with dark entities.
I think that would have worked out really well for me because I'm a voyeur.
Yeah, it's like, because then you gotta have an intimate moment with another hunter while indulging your vice. So while I'm having sex with a dark entity.
Again.
Anyway, I
I didn't take that.
And when you do that, so both people can clear a condition, an appropriate condition, whatever that is. If it is your vice, you can also get a clue or ask the other hunter to tell you about their past. It won't be marking one of the masks, you're just asking a question and they'll answer it truthfully. So instead of murders, we get threats. Threats are various.
We only have one crow.
Yeah, we only have one crow.
Sorry, I couldn't.
I was a little slow on getting that
one. So instead of just figuring out the murder and then you're done, each threat has a set of questions you can answer with difficulties on those questions. So that's when you do the theorize move, the answer a question move. You're going to roll plus the number of clues, and same deal happens. On a hit, you're good. 7 to 9, complication, 12 plus the mastermind reveals themselves while you're pursuing it. Unlike the murders, answering a question only answers that question. So if you're chasing a werewolf and it's like, how can we kill a wolf? You're like, oh, I noticed he doesn't like water, so he can only be killed by drowning him. Roll to see if you did it. You did it. Great. Now you know the answer to that question. Then you have to go drown the werewolf to resolve the threat. So the threat is not automatically resolved when you answer questions. A little bit more action. And that's pretty much it for that stuff. Anything else we'll come across as we do it.
Cool.
Cool. So I'm going to read the little intro text, and then we'll get into the first threat. Good.
I'm going to go 6 with Dark Entity.
Yeah. Go. Hargrave House is an old Gothic Revival style building. It stands out from its neighbors on Belgrave Square, which are done in the more conventional classical style. Hargrave House is also different because it's not just a residence, but a place of work. ... Dark work.
Dark work.
And some more of that dark work has just landed on the doorstep. Cool. So the name of the threat is the St. James Street Ghost. A back issue of the Illustrated Police News, a tabloid notorious for carrying salacious, blood-curdling tales of dubious provenance, has a story about a young maid, Ginny Hess, who was found dead, apparently from shock, in her employer's St. James Street townhouse some months ago. The story claims that the townhouse is haunted and that it was almost certainly the appearance of a ghost that caused the young maid to die of fright. After a cursory inquiry, you learn the precise address of the haunting, 18 St. James Street, and the name of the family that lives there, the Beales, B-E-A-L-E-S. Who is our Gareth? Most tales of hauntings are complete nonsense, especially those carried by the Illustrated Police News, but Hargrave House has some experience with ghosts already. And a particular detail in the story confirms that this is a legitimate haunting. Gareth, what is that detail?
I think that detail that is very, very little known by the general public is that the ghost, as seen, was sort of a vaguely humanoid shaped, but like blob. It wasn't like a see-through person in regular clothing that they wear all the time. And that's typical people. Oh, I saw it. It looked just like my grandfather in his sleeping robe. It's like, no, it's not what ghosts look like. They don't reappear in the clothes they died in or whatever. No, they're just more vaguely humanoid. Like they usually have appendages, but almost like a human amoeba hybrid type thing.
Cool. So you know it's legit.
Yes.
Cool. So I'm going to tell you what the questions are attached to this threat. First question is, what part of the house is the ghost attached to? That's complexity 4. So you'll be rolling +4. You'll be rolling
-4.
-4 plus the number
Plus
of clues.
Yeah.
And that will give you access to a custom move that lets you talk to the ghost. The other question is, how can we get this ghost to pass on to the next world? That's a complexity 6. So you'll resolve that threat by doing a ritual to get rid of the ghost. And that is it for the introduction. You know where it is, you know what it is, you know who's involved. It is daytime, so I'll start off a day. Move in the tracker here. I haven't actually played with this yet. Day move. Stuff happens during the day. Great. Cool. It is day. I'm going to fill out the questions on the threats here.
Threats.
Two. And opportunity one is get. That's complexity 4. And the second question is, how can we get this ghost to pass on to the next world?
And we'll have just this one threat?
Yes, so a new threat gets introduced every dawn, up to 3 threats. So occasionally you will be full up with threats. But you're a competent monster hunters. You don't have
business is booming.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was no threats, we'd be bored.
Yeah.
Sitting around the sitting room, just sitting.
And busting ghosts, of course, makes us feel good.
And when someone dies, that means they don't need their body anymore.
Well, I mean, true. I don't see how that's relevant.
Gareth likes to play the harpsichord, but he only ever plays ominous sounding music. Like, Gareth, don't you anything happy? No, I don't.
I love that it looks like you're reaching for the pianoforte in your,
Does it?
your artwork.
Oh yeah, it's right over there.
It's very serendipitous.
Great. So it's ghost time. Once you have 3, they can only be introduced by mask. Yeah. So if there's already 3 and like the mother fails her role, you can get the orphan as a threat that way.
4 threats. 4 threats.
I guess you can have up to 5 because you have the coven too.
5 threats.
There's no coven. What are you talking about?
Gareth never talks about his coven.
That's a stupid, silly rumor, coven.
Oh no, 6 threats. Whoa. Trouble. I don't want that. Maybe I do. I want it.
So there's also and anyone in chat, feel free to correct me. There's also a mask attached to threats, or most threats, that I believe anyone can use. Is that right? So this one has the Mask of the Unquiet. And if I'm spoiling this, I don't know if I'm doing it right. We're going to try it anyway. You can mark the Mask of the Unquiet by having each hunter narrating a flashback to their childhood when they experienced a haunting. So I will also Mask of, there we go. Mask of the Unquiet. And I believe if you check this mask, another playbook unlocks as well.
Hey, what now? What?
Flashback. So with this playbook, so I'm on the threats tab here. Down on line 38, this playbook has another mask attached to it. So if you'd prefer to check this mask, you can. and you just describe a flash. Everyone describes a flashback to their childhood
Things will happen.
when they experience the haunting.
I see. According to chat, it's like a
Oh,
wild
just
card mask.
Usually, so I'll do this from now on. The threat.
I wasn't
masks are
listening. I mean, I heard you,
described.
but I don't
Typically,
even really
they're
know what
just
that meant.
given the title. So I can say like, this is the Mask of the Unquiet. If you want to check it, you can.
Okay.
Not knowing what it is. So
Well,
I'll do that
I
for
don't-
future threats.
I'm
I'm
not a
sure-
good listener anyway, so that
Yeah, I was like,
out well.
I heard what he said, but I'm so new to this game. It's like it doesn't really mean anything to me. I'm like, yeah, all right, sure.
Yeah,
So
I
there's
don't
another
learn
mask you
by
can check.
listening.
It's called the Mask of the Unquiet.
Thank you,
And I'm
chat.
pretty
Hey,
sure.
what
I mean,
does it
obviously,
do?
some of the masks will have good things attached. I'm sure, right? You
Yeah.
put the mask on, and everyone gets advantage for the rest of the game. Something like that.
And some of them will have bad times.
Some of them only give you advantage for half of the rest of the game.
Yes. Worst of all possible worlds. Great. So, game on. It is daytime. What would you like to do?
Well,
I mean,
let's
to
see.
investigate, in theme with me not listening very well.
Oh,
This ghost was, we think, from this murder.
So the maid, Ginny Hess, died from shock from presumably seeing the ghosts.
Oh, okay. I just want to think we
yeah.
should examine the body because
Oh, okay.
where's this corpse?
where's this corpse?
Excellent question.
I'm sure that Paloma maybe has says it differently. Than can I touch the guts? Yeah, like I don't. Maybe something about the corpse's face will tell us, or direction they were pointing will tell us more about where the ghost has appeared.
Any of the classic lingering
The
signs of an
entrails
after-function
could maybe tell us. I don't know. Gareth does maybe divination stuff. I'm sure the guts could tell us something.
death.
I'm sure Paloma is just pushing for us to go find a corpse.
The corpse is probably I don't see anything
It's at the
about
fish
corpse
market
itself.
on ice.
Yeah, it's on ice. It's got a talking fish in it. I believe the corpse has been taken away. Maybe you can ask your friends about it.
Super casual.
Super cool.
Y'all seen any corpses?
But you know the address and the name of the family. And that is about it.
Okay, that was my idea. Let's go touch the body.
Let me take a look at your buddies. Yeah, so your buddies basically do stuff during the dusk phase, but they still exist. Harley White is still a guy that exists. So if you want to ask him to go poke at the body, you can definitely
Where are our buddies?
send someone. The Resurrectionists on your.
Oh, my buddies. Oh, I
Yeah,
do
your
have
buddies.
I have friends.
Yeah, you got some friends.
Friends.
I've got Sean.
Yeah, Sean. I've got
I need.
Harley White.
Francis just has himself. That's all he needs.
Harley
Yes.
White. He has dingy.
Dingy.
Dingy. I've
He's got
never
a dinghy,
talked-
a small boat.
I read a lot more books than I talk to people. Dingy workman's clothes, cracked teeth, smells of grave dirt, and he's loyal
that
to me. Mhm.
Sounds lovely.
He's in dusk. Dusk he can be.
How do you usually get in contact with him?
But are we at dawn? Is that different than
But day, right?
We're in the beginning of the day phase.
beginning
Daylight.
of the day?
Yeah, so day phase is just kind of like y'all do what you like, investigate stuff, hang out, talk with each other, do whatever scenes you would like, and if there's a scene I'd like to see, I will set it up as well.
Cool.
I mean, I feel
Oh, sorry, Paloma, how do you usually get in touch with what's his name?
Oh,
Harley
I
White.
imagine-
who's
I
this
imagine Harley and I ran into each other through my Vice. I imagine we ran into each other at the penny move.
The little
Nickelodeon.
The little the moving pictures, the dirty pictures.
There's a little dirty pictures arcade.
Yeah, we go to the arcade. I met him at the arcade, and I smelled the grave dirt on him and was like, we're not supposed to talk to someone in the next booth, but I was like, I smell grave dirt. I gotta. So we began. So now sometimes we go out to the arcade, and then we go for drinks after. And I talked to him about bodies.
Awesome.
He likes to brag about his work, and no one usually listens to him about his work. And I play the I'm so interested in your profession.
Tell me more about your research.
What you do is really unappreciated. My research. We totally
Gang of grave robbers.
We geek out after the dirty pictures.
So hanging out somewhere seedy nearby at the Werther's Penny Arcade. Werther's, I'm gonna write that up. Let's see. Sorry, writing.
Francis has friends too. He has followers.
Yeah. Werther's.
Everyone wants to be Francis.
Oh yeah, Chaotic Blade is reminding me that she's probably in the graveyard somewhere. Thank you.
Ooh.
People don't keep their corpses around long enough.
No. And she was a maid, so probably a
mass grave.
Common grave. Yeah. What do they call it? Common yard? Or I don't remember what they call it. A poor person's grave yard. Mm-hmm. So you're hanging out with Harley after a episode at the at Werther's. He's a dirty. Well, he's a dirty Cockney man. He's not too fancy. He's always got dirt on him. Doesn't wash very often. He's got workman's clothes. His teeth are all cracked up. Smells like grave dirt all the time. And what did you want him to do?
I'm trying to figure out I'm using my usual ploy of tell me more. What you do is so interesting. And I guess I'm using the excuse of asking a really specific question to get to him. Harley, let me know if this is too far, but you're the expert here. So people who help around the house, whatever you call them, the cleaner people, maids. Yeah, if I was a maid and I, died, where would you bury me?
In the poor person's graveyard, whatever it's called, Pottersfield. Pottersfield. It's called a Pottersfield. Over in the Pottersfield.
Do we have many around here, or is it just one? We just lump everybody in.
Oh, this is the main one that I looked up on Google Maps before this, but completely forgot what the name was.
Harley, what's Google Maps?
Wait a minute.
What the fuck is Google Maps, Harley?
Harley's a bit touched in the head. He is.
He thinks that one day we're going to be connected by electricity.
He's got googly maps, he does.
I believe it too, because electricity can put many things to life.
Maps with googly eyes is what he means. He puts little eyes on his googly maps.
I guess I could be a bit more strategic about this, but
find
out where she's buried.
I'm gonna say that there's a graveyard in Portman Square. There's a pot field there, so servants get dumped there, fresh ones every day. You know how it is.
I don't, and if it's not,
how it is.
If it's, you got me. But I'm just curious about I just feel like maids get to see, everything. the people who think they're in charge.
Oh yeah, I saw that one where
Yeah.
she comes into she hides in the wardrobe and she sees a master undressing.
Oh
and,
yeah. Oh yeah. And
yeah, that's one of my favorites.
it's a classic. It's a really classic one. And I was just, what's it like to, what gets buried on somebody who has that kind of experience? And
What do you mean? What gets buried on them? Like dirt?
Dirt, and what kind of face they're making, and
I heard a tale of this one made recently who died. I read it in the papers. It was died of fright.
I didn't know you could read, Harley.
I had Gary read it to me.
He's got the googly papers.
Gerald, Gerald read it to me.
You can't have Gary in every game.
Or
we
look
can.
at fright on her face. Gerald is one of the other graveyard robbers.
Yeah, Gerald.
Gerald is the smart, the educated
Gerald's,
one.
Gerald's the one that won't talk to me.
He's got his letters. Keeps to himself.
He says Gerald says I'm too interested in the graves.
That girl's not natural. She's not.
So were you interested in anything in particular about anyone in particular?
What was her name? Tess.
Jenny Hess.
Are we keeping notes somewhere?
Yeah, I'll put.
Oh, is it in
Jenny
the
Hess
threats?
in the-
Jimmy Hess. Sorry, I'm
Jenny Hess.
Jenny Hess. Well,
Jenny.
Harley, you know how I
As a
just
side
have
character.
a real scholarly interest in your profession, but also this happens to overlap with. I heard Jenny Hess just passed, and I heard that
Frightened to death by a ghost.
exactly.
You read the police illustrated police news too. I'll read it for the pictures mostly, but Gerald helps me with the big words.
Yeah, and I just wondered how someone's face might look. We could compare the faces. So, what would a face look like after they had seen a ghost? Just scholarly interest, I was writing up a paper on. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. My friend Francis thinks that they look all the same. So I wanted to settle a bet with my friend Francis, who thinks that everybody just always looks beautiful and serene and never makes any kind of facial expression ever. And I was thinking, like you, Harley, I was thinking,
Do you want me to bring your face? Wouldn't be the strangest thing I brought you.
I wouldn't be upset if you brought me a face.
Done and done.
The
The
whole
boys
body
look
would be
forward to
really
tonight.
nice, but the face is good.
Bodies are really heavy,
Yeah, you're right. Just face.
If she had anything valuable on her, I will.
Is face a part of the body?
I don't know.
Am I just getting extra bits?
If you want a specific.
Can I get
piece.
the whole head?
Eyes, head.
Yeah, we'll get the head.
Or I could just get the eyes. I heard that fear lives in the eyes. I bet we could tell something from the eyes. You know what, Harley? Whatever you're able to get it for me. Hair, eyes, entire head.
I forget if there's some Victorian thing about the eyes containing the last thing they saw or something.
Oh yeah. They put them
Like
in
a-
a special
like a
little viewer
camera.
thing, and what that was in the one with the giant steampunk spider.
Wild West.
Wild West. They did that. They took someone's eyes and they put them in like a little camera thing, projected the last
yeah.
thing they saw.
Let's say that's what we're doing.
Really good movie.
And I need some
Right.
Finally got his giant spider into a movie.
I'll just call my buddy grave worker Will Smith and go get your head for you.
Welcome to Earth.
Oh, Dirty William.
You won't work with me either.
Doctors.
I'm getting this vision that all of the grave robbers are very internally supportive and mistrustful of outsiders.
Someone said we should
all right.
unionize, but none of us know what that means.
We just stood together and nothing happened. Cool. So yeah, that's an average Thursday for you, I think. What next?
I think Francis wants to call directly at the house.
Cool.
Talk to whoever the.
So much straightforward. Much straightforward.
Well, I mean,
yeah.
he plays to his strengths.
Yeah, I bet everyone's already wrapped around his fingers over there.
He's just used to that, I think.
Do you want to go by yourself, or do you want to bring some other folks?
Yeah, does anyone want to come along for this? Or are you all doing your own things?
I feel like Gareth is the more social of us. I'm happy to. I just don't know that I would be helping your cause.
I feel that Gareth has some other plans for this day, perhaps.
That's what I was wondering, yeah.
Yeah, right. Cool. So let's see. Yeah, so the house is like we said, it's a big old not modern, the other one. Gothic architecture, antique. And when you ring at the front door, you are met by a man. Oh no, actually, this is great.
Oh no.
Met at the front door. And
Will Smith.
The door seemingly opens by itself rather quickly. And it takes you a moment to look down, and there's a boy there, probably 9 years old or so.
Okay.
He's got like, big red
ghost.
cheeks, and he's got a little sailor suit on. And he just kind of looks up at you and he says, "What the hell do you want?" What the hell do you want? I don't know.
What the hell do you want? Oh, what the hell do you want?
What the bloody hell do you want? Who are you?
And I think, yeah.
It's 50p for a tour.
Okay, so I think he's going to, I think Francis has a card, a calling card on him, and is just going to, yeah, like, I want to say that he treats him like he's dealing with an adult. Like, I see you're a canny businessman. I am Francis Quinn. I am from the Hargrave House. We investigate troubles like ghosts. You said 50p? And he immediately...
50p. Oh, yes, that's for, are you alone? It's a group rate if there's more than one of you.
I'm sorry, I did not see the advertisement.
Oh, but it's mostly word of mouth now. I just tell my friends. Most of them come around more than once. I haven't seen
there is some sort of group coupon at play then. If I can get a large number of
group coupon. Yes.
I see. Well, I will keep that in mind for entertaining guests in the future. For now, I should just like to see where this tragedy befell the young miss.
Oh, Ginny. Oh, it was awful. We found her in the, we found her, where did she fall down? I don't know.
That's sort of the main gist of what I was saying.
The whole thing.
I bet there's, I bet it says where she died. I don't know.
That could be a useful piece of information for me.
She looked awful. Her face was all twisted.
Sure, that's what would
pale. I haven't seen the ghost myself, but I reckon it's a bloody terror, considering what they did to her.
Is where we're going for.
I can I'll show you the whole house, and maybe someone sensitive like yourself can, you know, maybe you'll see a ghost. I haven't seen one myself.
Now, listen, young
he
what shall I
your
call
hand
you?
and pulls you into the front hall.
Yeah.
Oh, my name is Roger.
Roger, what I want is for you to cast your mind's eye, your imagination, to the very night, the frightful time you saw the horrifying face of the dead Miss Hess. And see if you can imagine any of your surroundings, any item in the room with you. Even a sound could be of use to us.
My what? My eyes? Just like look around.
Yes, imagine that you're there in the room with the dead Miss Hess, and what do you see there with you?
Does he have
Okay.
aphantasia?
Oh no!
Let's go ahead and make a roll for this. What's this gonna be? I think it's gonna be persuade or presence, because you're trying to get him to do a thing. Oh, great! You have a presence of 3, of course.
Use it as straight.
So this is gonna be one of them. Their not meddling information moves. Let's make our first roll of the game.
And that's 2d6 plus 3?
2d6 plus 3.
Okay, 1 second. We'll roll that. 12.
Nice.
Wow.
I'm sorry.
All right. So a cool. 9 plus 3. Got it all together. I was like, so it's a 15. 12. Fantastic. So
I was using the built-in modifier thing on our dice roller.
excellent. Oh man. Okay.
I'm
Score.
sorry.
Right. No, that was
Just
great.
damn.
That's amazing.
For shape
Don't
of show,
apologize
that's
for being
interesting.
awesome.
Like,
funny,
right off
Francis.
the
As he's kind of like scratching his head and trying to
Roger
figure out
knows
what you
something
are
about it.
saying. Can I check that box? Oh, I can't check it. I'm gonna copy that and paste it into the clues here. One moment. Still getting the hang of the thing. Clues. A clue. In the front hallway, he's kind of like looking around and trying to like he's not used to grown-ups talking to him in such a refined manner. And he's trying to sort of grasp what you're getting at. And as he's kind of like he's like looking around trying to get like, should I be looking now or whatever? And he looks back at a table that's by a mirror on the left side of the front hall, and there's a little menagerie of glass animals there. And as he looks
Roger.
at it, one of the there's a little glass tiger that
Kitty.
you could swear that it like jumped off by itself, but it just falls off and smashes on the floor and Emily pieces. That kind of snaps him out of it.
Poor kitty.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, you see, that must have been the ghost. That was the ghost. I know it was. And you can see in the where the eyes of the tiger sort of came apart. One of them is it doesn't look like glass. It's actually it kind of like fell under the mastermind clue. Fell under the table that had the mirror under it. But you can swear that glittering in the shadows there, it is some sort of precious gem, maybe a sapphire. Seems like a weird thing for a family that is probably not that well off to have.
Rise it up, the streets.
Okay,
but
so
he is convinced that is the ghost that did that. Yeah.
This is why I'm not a good listener.
And this is a mastermind clue.
the
Right off the
sapphire,
bat.
I got
The sapphire.
Hot damn.
Wow.
You're welcome, America.
Good job, Francis.
Do I remember correctly? The mastermind clues.
That's like the overall.
Yeah,
they
those
can't
are like
be
the
used
void
towards our
clues.
total for the
Correct. Yeah.
things. So we
So
still
I've
have no
not done
clues for the
anything
main
to
mystery.
solve the main
The main
mystery.
threat.
Not helped us at all.
Oh yeah.
except
So the main clue is the glass figurine. Glass figurine.
Dinghy.
Of a dinghy. The tiger sort of leaping off the table and shattering on the ground. That
Okay.
is one of the
That is the clue.
clues.
Okay.
And Roger takes your hand and pulls you excitedly into the house. Gareth,
Where are we
What-
marking clues? Just so I'm trying to. get used
they're
to
on
where
the
we're keeping
threat sheet.
There are.
I'm gonna move. I'll move it
Right.
next to the hunters there.
Is
Thank
Roger
you.
a side character on the threat sheet?
I just put him on the London.
On the London, yeah.
Is there a place for side characters there?
Yeah, if you scroll
yeah, look
down
at that.
past the clues.
Yeah. I'll put him over there.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Roger Beale.
he got one threat clue and one mastermind clue.
That is
Yep.
correct.
Already.
Roger Beale. Nope, not there. Down here. Roger Beale. So yeah, he's down there in the side characters. Boom. Rewards. Fantastic. Cool.
Learning the game.
Gareth, you said you had plans.
Yes, I'm going to try and not kill two birds with one stone because I'm fond of birds, but accomplish two things efficiently. You see, I think that the lower class hear a lot about what happens with other lower class, and I feel like there's a local brothel.
Mhm.
I visit often during the day. I visit a woman there named Sally
Mhm.
at the brothel that I would like to. I feel that right now, I feel it's an unusually quiet time for us. And you know,
Thursday afternoon.
yeah, well, I mean, like we've
Only
only got,
one
like,
threat.
this one threat we've heard about.
Yeah.
It's just popped up today, so it's been kind of. So I feel like, well, things are probably about to get crazy.
Do some self-care.
Yeah, I better go ahead and I want to go experience some human flesh to forget the darkness within me while indulging in some absinthe and
Yeah.
me and perhaps Sally's heard something about what happened with Miss
Miss Hess.
Jenny, Miss
Ooh.
Jenny.
Oh, I've only read what's in the papers. You know me, I don't like the squeamish thing. And besides, I'm busy all night and don't have time to go around. At the end of the day, it's mostly normal, but I always make time for my special gentlemen like yourself.
Well, and that's the primary reason I'm here. By the way, Sean, go for a fly, Sean. You're not going to be around for a bit.
Stop ogling, Sean.
I imagine Sean just staying in place and beady eyes looking back.
All right,
Watching.
well, I mean, your choice, Sean, but you've been given fair warning. You know what it's about to
Cocks the head.
you know it's about to happen.
Seen it all. Somehow Sean has popcorn now.
Say I didn't warn you.
It's like a cat watching.
Oh yeah.
Sally, the main reason I'm here, you know, occasionally I need. You help me forget the things I experience. Sometimes I forget what it feels like to feel human flesh on human flesh.
I know,
That
love.
type
Tell
of
me all
intimacy.
about it. Tell me all about it.
You're such a good listener when I tip well.
Sally.
What's your darkness this week?
The last one that was inside me, it lingered for days. I could feel it there, just below my heart, like it was taking residence in my rib cage. Didn't leave for a good 3-4 days. Can still feel its shadow there.
Oh, I've had nights like that.
Make me forget, Sally.
Oh, I will. Just lie back, love. And the veil closes. Paloma, what are you up to while all this is taking place?
Wow.
You can join Francis if you like. You can do whatever else you like.
Is Francis still at the St. James Street house?
Yes. Yeah. Got taken on a tour by a little
8-year-old.
What's his
Australian.
name?
Roger Beale.
Roger.
Oh, Roger. Yeah, Roger Beale. I was
He
like,
run a
I
Mazda
kinda-
place. I'm very
Deal,
positive he
deal.
runs a Mazda place, Roger Beale Mazda.
Well, one day he'll grow up and be the great grandfather of that Mazda dealership. I wonder if I'd love to have like Paloma kind of stumble into the tour. Like she's she's kind of tottering around.
She was scheduled to join me and was just running behind.
I was supposed to join Francis for the thing, but I got too excited talking to Harley about what we didn't see of that conversation was Harley then just like comparing anatomy. Saying, have you ever seen this? Have you ever seen this? So she's kind of tottering along and kind of silently joins the tour that creepily and silently kind of joins the tour that Roger and
we're
Francis
outside the
on.
house at some house proper at some point.
It's kind of breathing a little too heavily and like.
Oh, wait, I was wrong. It's Roger Beasley Mazda.
Beasley, that's right. I think yeah. So the door is still ajar because Roger hasn't bothered to close it.
I wonder. Oh, sorry.
You can push your way into the front room if you like.
I was also gonna look around for the family plot, or if there's any like urns on the fireplace. I gotta not only have a one-track mind. I gotta help solve this mystery too.
So
okay,
there's
but you said the front room I can get into.
Yeah, the first one you see is there's two main rooms on the ground floor. There's a small library and some seating for guests, and you hear somewhere in the house a child talking. It's a little bit creepy.
I love children.
What in this little library room do you see that indicates that the Beals are living a little bit above their station?
They've got one of those book stands with like a very highly illustrated atlas that looks like it has lettering done by monks, like it's a medieval,
illuminated.
Illuminated. So it's got its illuminated, like really outdated atlas of Europe. But it's something they would never have been able to afford. And they're like have it displayed in the middle, kind of in a gaudy way as well. Normally a high class family would have like just had this thing put away, but they have it like in the middle where you have to kind of step around it.
Kind of like walk over it, yeah. Cool. And as you're looking at that, you hear I'm
just like reading it like a book.
Behind you, a big walrusy cough.
This is a right nice book.
And who let you in? Get your hands off it. That's very expensive.
I paid the 50 pence or the group rate. We got a group discount. Roger, yeah, I got a group. I'm in the group.
Bellows for Roger.
Dr. Paloma Sassby. Pleasure to meet you.
How does Roger know a doctor? He's got a little patchy beard and a little balding kind of. Walrusy.
We heard about the tours and we're investigating the.
You're here to see the ghost.
The ghost.
You're here to see the ghost. And
Yeah.
He's when his anger turns to nervousness a little bit.
Yeah.
And he like starts fiddling with his fingers a little bit.
Fingers.
Well, what is your interest in the ghost? You saw it in the papers.
And Paloma has a card, but it's Francis's card. She never got her own made, so she has some of Francis's cards that she's like scratched out Francis and wrote Paloma. Dr. Paloma Saffy.
Yeah.
Sorry. Francis tells me I get this backwards all the time. Dr. Paloma Saffy. We're at Hargrave House. We're investigating.
Investigating. Oh, well, that's a different matter than Dr. Saffy, is it?
Saffy.
Saffy.
Saffy. As like Sappho and like a bumblebee.
Of course. Well, I'm very well read, so of course I understand your references. As you can see by my library, I keep books. I'm happy to tell you anything you need to know about. I'm happy to help you in your investigation. Before you begin, of course, I wanted to make it clear. This is not going to cost anything, is it?
Oh, of course not.
Oh,
In
fantastic.
fact, sometimes, these
Because
things
Scotland
can,
Yard is free, you know.
I do know. And there's like a weird long pause. Yeah. Yeah, Grisella has never charged me before.
Tumbleweed plus.
just
Yes.
too silent. Like, I assumed you know what she was doing. Like, oh, you too.
Well, I'm not, although I am learned, I'm not accustomed to this sort of investigation. Of course, the police were here and took the body away to the Potter's Field, took Ginny away, God rest her soul. But I'm not familiar with the how an investigation of occult or supernatural matters occurs. So, do you require anything from me or the family or the cook or anyone? And as he's sort of like mumbling along, a dog kind of like bounds up behind him and starts like nuzzling his leg, and he's like kind of half petting, half shooing. He's like, there, Pythagoras, please just settle down. He gets it to sit.
Pythagoras. Can Paloma have a bone in her bag? It's like a femur that I feed to Pythagoras. Is this
probably something smaller,
like a finger bone,
like something you couldn't use on? Like, oh, this is extra. Can't use this one.
Yeah, is this too silly? I'm happy to also say it in the tone.
I think it's like it could be mistaken for like a chicken bone, and so like it's like the camera. The camera's like, oh look, she's giving him a little chicken bone, and then it like goes and like focuses on the dog, and it's clear that it's like a finger or something like that.
Sometimes
I just takes it and merrily like trots away.
Yeah. Sometimes I think I get along better with animals than with humans, the living at least. So it's not my area of expertise, but if Gareth were here, Gareth would ask us to look for, objects of that have a lot of energy in them. Are there any kind of cursed or especially ominous areas of the house or thing? This is Gareth's expertise, but I'm gonna try for looking around.
Yeah, go ahead and make a roll. It sounds like a presence again.
I wonder if maybe Paloma is like rifling through the books. I'm like, do you like have any cursed like anatomy books or like I don't know, like like a book that's got like some off poetry, just something that maybe could house a ghost or something.
Nothing unseemly like that. There's please, I'm sure the
just kind of rifling through.
Yeah, he's very disturbed by you touching his stuff,
especially like lingering on some anatomy pages, like.
There's a lot of like philosophy books and math books.
I imagine it is like clearly bought by the yard.
Yeah. Like, a lot of which
they're
like
by size and color.
Like you open them and like it like audibly cracks as you like they haven't been
to
opened.
Tear the pages to get it open.
Oh, it's got that new book smell.
But yeah, he's very
my books smell old.
You touching his stuff.
She's like kind of back in a chair reading one of them. Like, oh, my books smell so old. This has got that fresh smell. You can smell the glue.
That definitely sounds like presents to me.
Yeah, I don't know if I have any presents.
0. And I'm gonna say since he's so put out by you rifling through his book, it's gonna be with disadvantage. So roll 3 dice and take the low 2. see what happens.
Roll 3
Oh,
dice.
no.
Take the lower two. Yeah, this makes sense. This is Paloma's best moment. Rifling through books. All right.
Oh,
Keep
not
the
bad.
lowest.
That's still an 8. No, a 6. A 6.
Yeah, the lowest 2 are 6. I rolled a 3, a 5, and a 3. So I need to get better at naming what we rolled, especially if we're watching.
Cool. Let me take a look.
It's just
here.
Paloma's trying to channel Gareth and Francis.
Yeah, she's just
their techniques.
not doing a great one.
Just like kind of a little bit too creepy, a little too interested in the musculature. That's definitely not how the facial structure works. Anyway.
I think you're going to get a condition.
Yeah.
And that
fair.
condition is going to be rude.
Yeah.
Rude.
Yeah, you're rude and pretentious.
Is that, and so remind me how conditions work? I kind of have to.
Yeah, so a condition, if
active
it's,
with that one.
how can yes, pretentious. There we go. A condition, when it applies to a situation, you'll roll with disadvantage. So probably if you do a presence roll in the near future, you'll be still channeling some of this energy and roll with disadvantage. If you're trying to like jump a fence or something, not so much.
Yeah, this all makes very much narrative sense. I like it. Let's do it.
Yeah, and he kind of like, since you are a lady, you are a lady, right? Yeah, she. Yeah. You can tell that he very much wants to remove you from this room physically, and you get the feeling that if you were a gentleman, he would probably grab you by the lapels and pull you out. But right now, he's just like getting redder and redder, angrily fidgeting.
Kind of splayed in the chair.
I, Doctor, your methods are please let me show you around the house. And he just like huffs and walks out.
Okay, a free tour.
I'll note that we have Fictive Fun joining us in the chat.
Yeah, hi Fictive
hey,
Fun.
Fictive Fun, yeah. Roger has pulled Francis into
Puppy
the
Bane
dining
is
room.
also here.
Hey, what's up, Puppy Bane? Roger has pulled and he like has Francis by the hand still, and like it's not like intentional necessarily, like he's just like pulled you along and just hasn't let go, kind of like not consciously. And pulls her into the dining room. Again, this is on the ground floor. It's just across the hall from where Paloma is, and there's a long kind of polished table with half a dozen and change chairs. There is another little curio cabinet, little serving trolley there.
Okay.
Does Mrs. Beale have splendid taste, or rather disappointing taste?
Well, okay.
I love these questions.
I will say that Mrs. Beale, yeah, I will say that she actually has good taste if viewed from an objective perspective. Like, she clearly is trying to make every dollar or every pound go as far as it can in decorating, but she has a sense of harmony and a sense of design that's going into it, but none of it is good enough for Francis. From his point of view, it's more like this is pretending to be your betters, and if you're poor, you should just be poor.
What do you see in the room that confirms this view?
Oh, wow. I would say that there is something mass-produced. Yeah, in the curio cabinet, there are these mass-produced pewter figurines and it gets under Francis's skin that they are designed to look like handcrafted workmanship. But if you look closely, you can see the seam where this was poured into the cast that they used for this same little pewter creature that appears in every household that is trying too hard to hide its true status.
Nice. And as you're casting around for that, Roger is just kind of stream of consciousness, jabbering about anything that, like, oh, I snuck down from my room one night and I saw a shadow, and I don't know if it was a ghost, but it probably was. And I've heard, I've like telling you less about the house and like more recounting like stories he's read from in the pennies. It's like, oh, I heard a story about there was a murderer, but it turned out to be a ghost, and I read a story about someone who was robbing a fish market, and it's like not really connecting it with
it's all the Brindlewood
there.
Bay stories.
Oh no.
And there's a Frenchman that traveled in time. And as he's kind of jabbering on, one of the doors to the room, the back door kind of bursts open, and like a large square framed woman kind of bursts in, and she's got a tray full of dishes and stuff, and a couple of rags and stuff, and looks shocked to see you, and begins to talk, and then looks down at Roger and just huffs and shakes her head, and drops the stuff on the table, and starts setting 3 places on the table.
Okay. Yeah, can Francis ask the same sort of question, the same question of Mrs. Beale?
So this is the cook.
Oh,
yeah.
This is the cook, obviously. Okay.
Yeah. And she's like, if that boy is bothering you, you're not under no obligation to stay here. He'll prattle on all day. I'm thankful that you're here, because otherwise he'll be following me around, interrupting my duties. So I'm glad you're here. I mean, I've set a place for the little darling, and like there's kind of like a stereo chattering going on with Roger telling ghost stories at one hand and her complaining about Roger in the other.
Sure. And I think Francis focuses his attention on the cook and says, I am here from Hargrave House to investigate the unpleasant death of Miss Hess. And I was talking to this young gentleman about it, but he didn't give me the piece of information I needed, which was where the body was found.
Oh, right where you're standing, right here in the dining room. It's a horrible thing. I don't know nothing about no ghosts. I have to meet with the butcher and get some mutton tonight for dinner. I don't have time for that nonsense. Roger, you can have as much nonsense as you want. Just leave me out of it. And she turns to go back to the kitchen.
Okay.
But you can still address her if you like.
I like her.
She's got a very Mrs. Lovett kind of air to her.
Yeah. And yeah, so I'll have Francis follow her to the kitchen, and and asks, so no signs of a ghost in this house that you've seen? No unusual changes in temperature? No doors creaking open or shut on their own? No voices in the night that seem to comport with no body to give them?
So you're in the kitchen, and she's she sort of is kind of like trying to ignore you a little bit, but like really can't. So she's like, she doesn't want to leave, but she really doesn't want to hear what you have to say, but she like doesn't want you to go either. And so she's kind of like half turned to you, chopping vegetables and putting them in a pot on the stove. The stove is going. What's that?
Knife safety.
Knife safety. And she's like, throwing big chunks of onions and potatoes in a pot. And the thing you notice is and she's like, oh no, I've never seen nothing like that. And you can tell there's like a strain in her voice, because although the stove is like going full blast, and feels like it's going more full blast than a stove normally would, it is almost icy cold in the kitchen.
Okay.
Like, no, temperature is normal. It's just the time of year. The dampness gets in and chills your bones. People think all kinds of things, say things, especially to the little newspapers, and they write up the terrible stories. That poor girl. It's a shame that they take advantage of poor girl's death like that for the tawdry stories.
Oh man, where should he go with this? Let's see. Yeah, I think Francis just remarks again on how cold it is in the room.
I will. You sit yourself right, and there's like a little chair, and like there's a couple little like stools and stuff. You sit yourself right down by the stove. I'll run and get you a jacket to warm yourself up. And she like bustles out.
Okay, so while I'm alone in the kitchen, but she was found in the dining room, right?
Yeah.
Oh man, let's see. And I have a sensitivity of -1, I think. No, sensitivity of 0.
Yeah, and Roger has like followed you to the doorway of the kitchen. I think the shot we see before cutting away is just like him kind of looking at you nervously, and kind of like when like you tell a dog not to go into a certain room.
Oh,
kind of,
and they're kind of
edges
eyeing
up
it
to the corner, of the
like
threshold.
Put his
of
like nose over it.
Yeah, he's just like, I'm not coming in here, but I really want to.
Cool.
Gareth has finished his
soul cleansing.
His soul cleansing. Are you headed to James
Gareth,
Street, or are you going
Gareth,
somewhere else?
now with a new cleared head, has a plan.
Ooh.
As he's, I guess, him and Sally are getting dressed, and he turns and says, "Sally, my dear, do you ever have dreams bigger than the life you already? I mean, I'm not casting aspersions on your life if you're happy, but are you happy in this life, or do you have dreams, larger aspirations, things you'd like to do with your life?"
I mean, sure, but all girls have dreams, and I haven't seen any of them come true yet. So it's nice to think about, but
Listen to me, Sally. As someone who communes with the darkness on a regular basis, I can sense there's a bit of darkness in you, but it has not yet taken hold. The longer you commune with the darkness, the more of a grip it gets, and the harder it is to shake. You still have light within you, Sally. You can still escape the darkness.
I don't know nothing about the community with no darkness.
It occurs to me that in the misfortune of this Ginny Hess's death, perhaps there's a door for you to walk through.
What, you think I should be someone's maid? Bustle around in a uniform serving people like that?
Have you seen their house? It's a very nice house. I hear they're very nice people.
I'm not the kind of person that goes around to that neighborhood.
Well, you could be. This could be the first step in your new life, Sally. You could have run of that house. You would have a room all your own in the house. You'd be living with a very nice family. It just occurred to me. I think this is a real opportunity. There's a reason this has all come together, Sally.
I love it. What are you afraid that could happen as a result of this little conversation?
I think strangely, it's a bit convoluted, but the biggest thing I'm afraid of is that she will pursue this, and she will be bad at that job and like rude or like unclassy or whatever. And so since I'm willing to recommend her, it would look bad on me if I recommend her and they're like, "The girl you sent us is shite. She's horrible. We fired her first day."
Awesome. I think this is definitely a presence roll again. Third one is a charm. So let's roll 2d6 plus 1 and see what
2d6
happens.
plus 1. Here we go. Sally's new life.
I want this makeover montage.
Wow.
That's bad. Total of 4.
I think when that happens,
oh no,
a 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Yeah,
wow. 2 plus 1 plus 1 plus 2, or 2 plus 1 plus 1.
Yeah. Total of 4
plus 1 2. I think so. This is like the end of your time, and Ellie is kind of like get dressed and fucking go. I got another appointment. And as you're saying that, I think the door like is kicked open, and a tall, thin gentleman with like short, slick back hair and like a really tiny pencil thin mustache, dirty striped shirt, busts in, and he says, no one's taking Sally away from us. And before you see it, he has driven a knife into your rib cage.
Owie!
And, straight into your heart.
All right, well, I'm not gonna mark any masks, so I guess I'm retiring character.
All right,
I'm kidding. Just kidding.
Rip character.
I'm just going to ignore a whole game mechanic. I have a pride thing about masks. I don't
like
want to
the
mark
idea
any.
that Francis and Paloma never met Gareth. How are we supposed to have this new guy work with us?
Oh, I heard he got shivved out of the brothel.
Yes, leave your body.
Yeah, I think as the curtain fades on you, like he's just like holding your shoulder, like pulling you into him.
Oh, that went great.
The last thing you hear is, Sally, gotta clean up another one. And he lets you fall to the ground. Would you like to do a mask?
Yeah.
And then in the background, you see Paloma's head just kind of peer in through a window.
I've been watching the whole time and was like especially excited now.
Okay, so for masks, I can take either the past or the future?
Mm-hmm. Or the Mask of the Unquiet, which is the special mask for this threat.
I'm just trying to figure out, like,
special mask.
I mean, I know this game isn't about mechanics
Min-maxing
per se, but I mean, I'm just
about
trying to figure out,
winning.
like, what is there like a reason why I would pick past or the future
The past is filling in your backstory,
and the narrative
future
order
does stuff,
and the future also precludes retiring your character, right?
Yeah. So if you have ambitions to retire quietly, future is not great, but I'm guessing probably that's not.
Well, let's just go ahead and mark the first mask of the past.
Awesome. So tell us a flashback to the time when you were in your mother's womb that shows even then dark entities were interested in you.
They're floating calmly and peacefully in a sack of amniotic fluid. It's wonderful. Food comes in, you sleep, you eat. It's about the best life ever gets, really. Until I feel like I see like you see the sack, and it's like, translucent. You see the child through the sack, and there's a translucent sack. In that translucent sack, you see like little vein, blood vessels, and things going through the sack. And then slowly, like on the edges, some of them start to turn black, the little vessels. And it's not coming in through the umbilicus tube, so it's not anything the mother's eating or anything. It's just, and then you realize it's not the red vessels turning black, it's black tendrils separately from the red tendrils reaching out as well. And a couple of them like snake in and up the newly formed nostrils of the child. Kind of makes them shake. And then if the camera would zoom in close until you see, at this point, the child does have eyeballs that have formed. And the whites of the eyes kind of get black mist, like black milk, black liquid in parts of them. Which you can tell the child's disquieted and starts very, having tantrums and shaking around. And then it zooms all the way out, and the mother's like, oh, he's really having a fit in there tonight.
Nice. So I think the door still gets kicked in, and the same gentleman comes in. Only you see he has the knife, and Sally yells, "Toby, no!" And
Oh
she
no!
puts herself in front of you and pushes you towards the window, and she's like, "Go." Would you like to leave through the window or not?
Fight Toby! Fight Toby!
Fight, Toby. Save Sally's life.
Nothing bad can happen here.
We never meet Gareth.
Toby, I understand you're a businessman.
Keep talking. And he's still got the little shiv out at you. It's like a long, thin. It looks like a letter opener that was sharpened.
Oh.
I'm sure you know that it takes a certain something to be really, really successful bringing the good money in this business. As one of the girls of the night, ladies of the night.
Oh no.
Let's just say I often come in contact with very sexy, very broody, very dark people.
Oh no! Oh no!
Using your supernatural affinities for the ongoing.
Pimping out the demons.
Who could probably cater to a very specific and special, high-paying clientele.
What exactly are you proposing in order for me not to gut you?
Well, I'm just saying I understand that if you were to let Sally go, that would be a loss to you. But if you were to gain someone who, say, could be much more valuable to you, I would call that more than a fair trade, wouldn't you?
You offering your services? Kind of smirks a little, super greasy.
Well, I have certain hungers that need to be met from time to time, too. And I imagine you're a man who knows people who... You have resources I do not have in those regards. I think we could help each other.
Now, I can find you a gentleman or two. There are some that like your type.
Gentlemen, women, whatever. And it could occasionally be, let's just say, more than the two of us involved. There'd be other participants.
I'm not looking for a business partner.
No. I mean...
And he takes a step towards you.
Right.
Oh, Toby.
So, I'm just saying, Sally, she's not cut out for this. Let her pursue a different life, and I will make sure that she's replaced tenfold.
He takes another step forward, and he's very close to you, and just sort of doesn't press it in, but just lays the sharpened letter opener to your throat, and runs his hand from your temple down to your chin. And he says, "What's your name?"
Gareth Arkpenny.
Where can I find you, Gareth?
I'm very easy to find. Hargrove House.
No, he knows where we live, Gareth.
I have a feeling I don't think I have a feeling it's probably not a secret.
Never tell the bad guys where we live. Meanwhile,
I'll tell you what,
Francis
Gareth.
handing out more business.
Paloma's also handing them out.
Man, I think this is gonna be a present. He has an offer for you, but we're gonna see how good it is. I think this is gonna be a presence roll again, unless you can argue for something else.
I think that's. Let me take a look.
Or actually, I think this is a composure roll because he.
See, I would have thought I was about to say maybe reason, because I'm trying to kind of reason with him about why. This is just logical. She's she's a so-so hooker, but like he could get people into some
Private
dark shit.
Sally?
People who want to have like threesomes with dark entities.
Okay, so the proposal you're making is to let Sally go and replace her with some
Demons.
dark being or person
Demons.
at a future date.
Or yes, or I mean, if he brought it up, I didn't think of this, but he says like, I actually once he mentioned it, as like, or possibly replace her with myself because I do
Yeah.
have dark hungers.
I think that's his idea.
Yeah, and then he could, so you know, and he would, and I probably don't know necessarily where to find people easily. In you know, it seems like a good deal. It's like, oh, I could just come to him and be like, let's get something going because I'm feeling the hunger. So yeah, I mean,
what are you afraid could go wrong as a result of this?
Does this need to be like an immediate thing, like have it now, or more of like, because the reason I ask is because like my gut instinct was just that like having such easy access for feeding that darkness might just make me eventually completely like almost, it's giving the darkness a very big advantage in my life as far as control. And
okay, that's fun. Cool, yeah. Roll with reason. Let's see how that goes.
I mean, yeah, most of them are one anyway. And that's 2 plus 1, 2D plus 1. Right?
Yeah.
The same roll. Okay. Me hooker question mark?
An 8.
That's better.
Maybe.
Way better. 4.
Yeah. So I think he like brings his face real close to you. And he's like, all right, Gareth Arkpenny of Hargrave House. And sort of like traces like gently on your cheek with the letter opener. I tell you what, I'll take you up on your little offer. Today's Thursday, Friday. Sally's going to stay here with me because she's mine. You come back on Saturday evening and we'll see how you do. Deal?
No. What I'm offering you is a once in a lifetime deal. You'll never have access to this again. And it's now or never. And it requires Sally's freedom immediately. Now, you know, I'm a man of honor. You know where I live. You know that I will not be running away. You know that my word is good and our deal is good. There's no reason.
Presses it into your cheek and like draws it down, and it definitely like goes in, and blood starts trickling down.
I don't flinch.
Oh, no.
I've never made this offer to anyone else, and I'll never make it again.
10 minutes later.
His face is all cut up. So he's going to accept your offer because you made the roll. Yeah, that'll work. He's like, all right. Gareth Arkpenny of Hargrave House. Sally can go with you. I'm going to need a little bit of collateral. What do you have?
Not Sean.
No.
Never Sean.
What's that fancy, do you wear perfume and makeup? What is that you have on you? A little compact.
Sparkle powder. Oh no.
Is he referring to my magical glittery powder?
Yeah.
Bottle?
I think it's
Sugar
like maybe in
dust.
the pocket of a vest that's still on the bed. They kind of like picks it up and toys with it. He's like, I think I'll keep hold of this until you come back with Sally or something better. Gareth Arkpenny of Hallgrave House.
It better not
then
be
he-
empty when I come back.
Licks the blood off the knife and
Oh, God.
walks out.
Toby is a vampire. Toby is a vampire.
Vampire
Miss-
pimp. Vampire pimp.
We solved the second threat.
Be the vampire pimp.
Sally, this is your chance. Take it.
Vampire.
Go to the house. Whatever. Do we know? Is there a name of the
Empire.
house where the maid
Oh,
died?
It's just an address.
Go to this address. Tell her you were recommended by me as a replacement for Jenny Hess as I'm sure in their mourning they'll probably need help more than ever.
All right. What are you gonna do? Sounds like you've gotten yourself into some mighty bad time.
Well, you let me worry about that, Jenny. I'll tackle the darkness if you chase the light.
Great.
That feels like the credits of this.
you wanna call it this?
No, we don't have to. I just thought it was a really good line.
Yeah. We can definitely call it here if you want to. It is 9:39. Do you feel like another scene in the house? I think if the two of you want to do that, I would like to get you together in the same room. But if not, I'm totally happy ending it there because
we all three of
I
us
know.
together.
Seems like that would be a good ending. All three of us finally coming together in hard.
Yeah. That,
Okay.
that- like a day to bog.
Yeah. Is Gareth going to come over with Penny?
To the Beale house.
Yeah.
Oh, with Sally, you mean?
Sally?
Oh, Sally. Yeah.
I figured our get together would be like after I had taken her to the other house, maybe, if that's possible. Like maybe I took her to the new place to try to get her that job, and then.
Oh,
So
we're back at Hargrave.
Oh, I see. Or if we're all, or you saying
so
all
if
three
you're
of us meet
taking
up
her to-
at that house.
Yeah. St. James Street while they're already there investigating.
Oh, yeah, that could be happening too. Yeah. Yeah, because
Cool.
I was thinking three of us were meeting back at Hargrave House.
Oh yeah. No, I think
Yeah,
that's-
Paloma's still in the library reading.
yeah.
Feet on top of the other chairs. Being
And
rude.
So in the kitchen, we see the cook. Her name's Irma. She comes in with like a big cable knit kind of cardigan, long thing, and puts it like over the front of you, and like kind of holds it out to
Aw.
put your arms through the front.
Right.
Whether you do or not. And she just says like, make yourself comfortable, love. Don't worry about the boy. And you see that Roger has wandered off somewhere, and so she's just like busying herself in the kitchen. Paloma, you're still just like chilling in the library?
I guess I would start wandering and be like, oh yeah, Francis. So I probably taught her to try to find Francis again.
Cool. There's more than one floor to this house, both up and down. But yeah, you definitely heard Francis in the dining room and kitchen, so you can definitely follow over there, and you see him sitting like in a corner, radiant as ever, but with his giant awkward sweater.
Yeah.
As a burly lady bustles about the kitchen.
And I think Francis, seeing that someone of quality can see him, immediately starts taking off the sweater and saying something like, I was only dressed in such a common thing to abide this terrible cold. I would far...
And Paloma, it is freezing in there. Even though the stove is going.
Where is my proper gown when I need it? Folds it up and puts it on his lap, and then after a moment's thought, buries his hands in the fabric because it's so cold.
Question.
Yeah.
The guts that I put my hands into,
Mhm.
they don't have to be human guts, do they? Or
Okay.
I'm guessing they should be, depending
Probably
on.
should be. I mean, it just says a pile of guts, so If you can manage yourself a pile of animal guts, great. These questions won't be answered until dawn, so we'll finish the day phase.
Oh, cool. I can do it at night. Okay, never mind. I'm not gonna push it.
You got plenty of time. Yeah.
It doesn't seem like something. I was just like, oh, I bet Paloma would get involved with like being a little too interested in the butchering.
Yeah, but it is a great impulse.
Yeah, I imagine Paloma is kind of looking over she was doing veggies, right?
Yeah.
But I imagine Paloma's kind of looking at some of the meats that are hung up and are like,
useful.
you slice against the grain. I've not seen this kind of work. It's just like talk like really like a little bit too in detail about different organs. Like
it takes her a minute to recognize that you're there, because like half of her attention is on the food, a quarter of her attention is on the food, and the rest is on Francis. And when you talk, she kind of like jumps because she. It's like, I thought I saw the.
And I'm a tiny, slight person.
Yeah. Just kind of creeped in there, and scared her.
Like you saw a ghost. Sorry.
You can make yourself useful if you like. There's a leg of mutton out the back if you want to pick it up and start carving away.
Oh, okay, I'd love to.
I mean, don't threaten her with a good time.
Yeah,
there's a brown paper wrap package by the back door. Pythagoras is sitting next to it with the bone that you gave him, and just like happily chewing on that.
Friends
knows better to poke into that package, but he's kind of like. And in the kitchen, there's a big butcher block with like a giant cleaver.
Roll to give the puppy the bone.
Bones for puppy.
No, I'm just kind of playing around for color's sake. I guess I should actually do some clue hunting too. Are we thinking this room is cold because of ghosts?
It's not cold because of the lack of fire, for sure.
Oh, because
cold.
You keep hinting it's unnaturally cold.
It is unnaturally cold. It's not a hint.
Like there's some sort of intimation.
It's that you keep saying it and we keep ignoring it that makes it hint.
It is just a fact of the environment.
Just like Brindlewood, where we're gonna go do everything else.
And since Paloma's rude and pretentious, I guess she's like, guessing the ghost is in here, right? Where did you see it last? It's pretty cold.
I told your beautiful friend there's no ghost anywhere. Not here, not nowhere. Not real.
The cold is unnatural in here, thus the fabric.
Like I said, it's the draft, the wet weather from the fall, the spring. It is spring. It is cold January.
Gareth could tell us if it was like some kind of chilly, cold
Gareth
curse.
will be there momentarily, but first Gareth is going to run to the bathroom.
His name was Francis.
More likely, I mean Gareth is our friend who's interested in curses and hexes and stuff like that. But seems like a ghost feels like a ghost.
Well, there's no ghost in my kitchen, and she brandishes a knife.
And we shall ensure that whatever presence is visiting upon your kitchen will be removed post haste.
No, the only presence in my kitchen is you two.
And Paloma Paloma is dissecting the mutton, but like not in a helpful way for eating.
Oh no!
Yep.
But it's more of a laboratory. Like has it like opened up? It's like, somebody was really into eating the clover.
Pythagoras is on the same wavelength. Like, let's investigate this.
Yeah.
Let's see. Is there anything useful I can do here?
I know. I'm sorry. I'm not being very useful. Just being silly.
Day move, information move, vulnerable move. I have to mention my vice. I can't really put on any risque or avant-garde fashion right now. Let me ask I'll pipe up and say, Irma, just to pass the time while Paloma is ably helping you with the mutton, have there been any tragedies in this household that might have led? You know how the common people talk of these ghostly visitations, that there's usually some wrong, such as a murder or some tragedy as that in the decades before. Some family that fell into ruin for its dissolute actions, and then leaving the ghost as some record behind. Nothing like that would have happened here. I'm sure this is a place of the utmost respectability.
She is quite taken with you, and has stopped chopping while you're talking. Let's do a question or a
information
gathering information.
Sorry,
I'm just trying not to say meddling. Information move with presence again.
Okay, so modifier +3.
Yeah.
Tragic history in the house? Question mark. And I am rolling that. 14.
14.
I feel like I've broken the game.
It feels
that's
in
their fault.
character.
Everyone in the Beale house knows about this master.
Let me bring.
We run a middle-class household, and we are deeply connected to the worst criminals of London.
And here are the names and addresses and all the evidence we have.
Would you like a cardigan?
Let me see what a good mastermind clue would be.
What does Irma know?
Who's in the attic?
Oh, that's great. Oh, these are so good. These are so good. It's really great.
Are you facing agony of great choices?
I know, these are so good. I think I got one though.
Irma is the mastermind. Knew it.
So she kind of she like wipes her hands on her apron and rolls the knife up in her apron, and kind of leans against the counter, and she's just like resisting as much as possible gossiping about ghosts and whatnot. But she is like so focused on your face, and her sort of like her kind of like brusque demeanor drops a little bit, and her voice quiets a little bit, and like it almost feels like you two are just like at a at an intimate dinner table almost across the kitchen.
I think Francis says something like, "Oh, you can whisper it to me if you like."
And she says, she's I've been at St. James Street for longer than anyone here. I worked for the previous family here, the Buckleys. My godmother, Theodora, got me the job originally when I was much younger. And
so
much younger.
You must have been 11.
Yes, exactly.
And she like blushes super hard. And she says, I hate to speak. The Buckleys, the family who lived here before, the Beales, they left after one of their servants, Maria, passed in a similar manner, fell dead. Shock, fright, who knows, right in the hallway outside the dining room. They left. I know things had happened before too, because the way they packed up and left after Maria's death, I've never seen anyone move so fast. And then the Beals, Mr. Beale is, well, he's always interested in a bargain, if you know what I mean. And Buckley's gave him a good price and he jumped on it. They've been here for a year now. And I just prayed and hoped that was the only time something happened. I'd heard stories from before. I'd never seen anything myself. I hope Maria would be the only one, but now Ginny's gone too. Whoever he might be next, myself, whoever comes, they've got to have a replacement. Mrs. Beals can't take care of the children by herself. Yeah, I'm no good with them.
Well, these things have a way of working themselves out. I'm sure you have the strength to not cower and topple before some phantasm.
And she like goes beet red again. And she like kind of like brushes up. She's like, "Oh, look at me blathering on like a schoolgirl. It's just it's silly of me. I've got to how's that?" And she looks over at
Oh God,
the mutton, and just like stops dead and like looks at you and looks back at the mutton. My dear, have you ever cooked for a family before?
Cooked?
You've eaten mutton before, yes? You know what it looks like after it's been cooked? Not like that. Where did you learn to... I don't even want to know. Looks like a charnel house in here.
This is just
Okay,
a proper dissection. And this is exactly what I would do. And she just goes on about, this is exactly what I would do in the, what do they call it, the auditorium. I've done, people pay big money to see this.
She snatches the cleaver out of your hand and just like, chop, 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 bang, bang, bang. And like, is like cutting it across the bone in pieces and just like scoops it up on a large platter and dumps it into the stew. I'm going to mark these 2 clues down.
I did touch guts.
It's a leg of mutton. It's not like a full sheep.
Yeah, I guess I was doing like muscle. I was doing muscle dissections to show the different tendons and things like that.
Yeah, just like
what I would have done in an auditorium full of people.
Maybe took like a couple of forks and like pinned down the skin to the block. She's just like, oh motherfucker. Okay. So the clue that you have found here is that there's evidence of a similar death in the house decades prior.
I forgot we could just talk to people to get clues.
That's just all I'm doing.
I just always meddle.
+3? Okay.
I need to use my reason more.
The mastermind clue is that Theodora.
Wait, did she get a 12 too?
White, you got a 14.
Oh my God.
Princess did.
Holy shit.
Peter did again.
Peter. The mastermind clue is that
I was just
the history of the house. It's like bam, another.
Yeah, I was just messing around. Peter was actually doing clue searching.
Theodora Braithwaite is the cook's godmother. That's her godmother, Theodora.
Oh, okay.
And I think as Ms. Thicket is getting the stew ready.
Irma Thicket. Good beginning.
The door for the dining room opens up, and a younger woman comes in. She's kind of simple but like worn down, pretty. Has a nice tartan dress on. And she has George, she has her hand on George's shoulder and she's leading him in. And she looks at Paloma, looks at Francis, and kind of shakes her head a little bit, says, you must be the doctor and the doctor's friend. I'm Alice. I'm Georgie's mother, Harold's wife. I heard you're here to see what actually happened to Ginny.
Are all these names on the sheet somewhere?
I'll write
Sorry,
them down
names.
on the sheet there as we get in. Alice is the wife. Harold is the husband. Roger is the son, and I'll make sure to get those on the sheet. And she's a lot more soft spoken, and she's like, Dr. Safby, we'd be very grateful for any help you could get. I feel like the boys aren't really taking Jenny's death very seriously, and I just really appreciate any help. And she like gazes at Francis. Any help the two of you could. And she kind of like walks forward, lets go of George, and puts her hands out and puts her hand out to Francis and says, Mrs. Alice Beale, you are.
Oh, and I think, Francis immediately takes her hand, kisses it lightly, and offers another business card. Presses the business card into her hand, clasping both her hands.
I think she reads it, and like before she puts it in the pocket of her dress, like it's not obvious, but I think she smells it before putting it in and kind of sighs a little bit. And shakes her head again and turns back to Paloma and says, so Dr. Shelby, what have you found?
Safby.
Dr. Safby, what have you found? We've had an awful time with Ginny missing. I've been running myself ragged. I wish there was, I wish someone was here to help us, but so hard to find work. Find people to help out these days. Especially given how to put in for girls, but no one wants to take her place because of the obvious.
Yeah, and I'm tempted to like ask her about the thing we just heard from Irma, but I should use my reason more instead of just being rude all the time. Sorry, I'm tired.
Yeah. I think probably at that moment there's a knock on
Gareth
the door.
Here yet?
Yeah, I think there's a.
I think that's what Paloma says.
The door
like,
knockers.
Is Gareth here yet?
On the way over, I would have been not grilling. That's not the right word, but trying to catch up on Sally's background, like things I could use as a sob story. Like, is she an orphan? She lost her family. Kind of what's.
Oh yeah, I think you can say whatever you want. She'll be like, "Oh yeah, you're much better at this than I am." Yeah, you tell him whatever you need, and I'll play along. You know how good I am at that, love. And Mrs. Beale kind of she's like, "Excuse me for a moment. I'll come along if you want." And kind of, she's like, kind of saying like, "Hey, Francis, why don't you follow me?"
Like trying to offer her arms to Francis.
Not in so many words. And kind of like shoos George out the Roger shoos Roger out the back door and busses up to the front and opens the door, and there is Sally with Gareth standing behind next to you.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I'd probably have her slightly in front of me.
Yeah. And she's like surprised. She's like, "Oh, can I help you?"
Oh, greetings. Do I know? Do we know anything about, like, would I know she's the lady of the house, or do I not know anything about?
You probably know, like, you know that there is a husband and wife living there, and she's clearly not a servant. So
do I know the name? Do I know the name? Would I know?
Yeah, they're the Beals.
Yeah. Okay. I think.
Yeah, so you can surmise that she is
Mrs. Beale, I presume.
Yes.
Good greetings, Mrs. Beale. I'm Gareth Arkpenny of Hargrave House.
Oh, are you with the doctor?
Yes.
And
yes,
that
you know
lovely man. And she takes out the card. Mr. Quinn.
Yes, you've met my associates, Francis and Paloma.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes. Well,
and is this another one of your associates? He kind of looks her up and down a little bit.
Yes, in a way, but I actually bring her as a recommendation to you, as I know your house has recently lost a girl, which, my condolences, Mrs. Beale. And, well, Sally's someone who I've sort of taken under my wing, as she has a bit of an unfortunate past herself. Her parents died, and they were not of much means, and she found herself homeless and trying to make, a better path for herself in the world. And I saw a chance to help someone in an unfortunate circumstance, and I knew that our work in investigating here, I just thought perhaps these paths have crossed for a reason. Perhaps it was fate, it was destiny. And not only perhaps maybe we solve we can maybe solve many of your problems. As I'm sure, in addition to your grieving and everything else, I'm sure you need a replacement probably for Ginny as quickly as possible.
How is Sally dressed?
I mean, I would have done my best. I don't know what she had at her. Obviously, we didn't have
She has whatever she needs at her disposal.
I don't know if we had a
Sexy maid
chance.
outfit.
I don't know if we had a chance to go on like a montage shopping spree or anything.
Probably not, but she has like street clothes on. Yeah, she definitely gonna have like servant clothes on playing her part for sure. She steps forward and offers her hand to Mrs. Beale and kind of like looks around. She said, "Oh, this is a lovely place. I'd be happy to start right away. I can do anything you need, if you know what I mean. Cleaning, cooking, sweeping, taking care of anyone who needs to be taken care of. Just point me in the right direction." I think, Mrs. Beale is like, just like taken aback by the generosity and invites both of you in.
Oh, thank you.
I think the door closes on number 18 St. James Street, and the camera pulls away from that, and that is the end of the episode. There is I don't think this happens the first time often, or maybe it does, I don't know, but there is a special thing that happens after the first time you get a mastermind clue,
or two mastermind clues,
or two. Let's see.
Good thing one of us was getting clues.
Oh yeah, great. Okay, good. This is gonna be good. Mastermind.
So we also have two normal clues at this point.
Yeah, you have two normal clues, two mastermind clues. And the camera pulls away. As the camera pulls away, it kind of like pulls back behind a stately, middle-aged Black woman, very impeccably dressed. She has a little walking stick, and she has been observing the house, and she saw Gareth and Sally go in for sure, but you can kind of tell she's been there watching you for a while.
Does she have like a spyglass or opera glasses or
no,
something?
just standing there.
Telescope.
And newspaper with two eyes cut out.
We see her like looking concerned watching it, and she is wearing a necklace with a bright blue sapphire on it, and a large black car pulls up with a driver, and she kind of nods and gets in and drives away. And that's the episode. Ba-dam! The Between.
Between.
No, sorry, I queued it too early. I'm guessing that's coming through.
Yes.
Yeah.
A little soft, but it's there.
Oh.
Perfect.
Oh, it sounds good to me.
There we go.
That sounds great.
Just scroll the credits.
Yeah.
Peter Rogers as Francis Quinn. Pete Fallon as Dark Penny.
Mark Major is fucking everybody.
Nicole Bennett as Paloma Safdie, and Mark Major is everybody else.
No animals were harmed in the making.
No animals will ever be harmed in the making. Seth as himself. Sean as himself.
Want to do a quick round of stars and wishes? I don't think we do this often, but just kind of going around and saying one or two things that you particularly liked, either something you did or someone else did or whatever, and then something that you would either like different or maybe something you would like to see coming up that you are excited about.
I could go first on something that I might want to see done with my character. This is kind of silly, but having the presence of 3, I kind of like the game of what I think we're going to hit situations where he tries to do a strategy with presence that feels dumb, but because of the way the math of the game works, it's going to work out somehow. Like, it'll Rube Goldberg into a success for him. And I hope we can do that once or twice over the course of this.
Yeah, for sure.
In future. In
that same vein, I think that I really would like to play more to Paloma's strength of reason. I think I had trouble with her interacting with people because I was like, I don't know that she's great at interacting with people. But I think I have trouble seeing opportunities for reason clues, and maybe reminding myself of how to do those would be nice to not to like min-max, but just to play to her strengths. And to I feel like I also can get a little jokey if I only do like things I'm bad at.
Yeah, I think the day scenes are interesting because it's kind of driven by you all. So if there's something in particular you want to see, like I thought the a star for like starting off with the penny arcade, I think that was great.
Okay.
So start like if there's a situation you want to see yourself in, feel free to just like narrate yourself into it. That's great. And then the night scenes are where I'm like, so specifically the night scenes, the game master frames all the scenes. I can take input from you, but if you're like, I want to investigate this thing, I'm like, no, you're at this bar. Like, that's the way it is. So the day scenes are like super yours. So if there's something that you want to do, get that day scene, because that's your chance to do that.
I'd like to give stars to both Peter and Heath. I really liked the like acting that was done. I think I could have maybe played with that with Paloma more too. I'm like, I really liked some of the like dialogue and monologues that were happening. That was really fun, and I want to play with that more with Paloma. And
yeah, I mean, we've all got solid starts on our characters, so I feel like that's only going to grow as we keep finding games to play with them and eventually, I assume, learn backstory. But
yeah. I mean, I feel like so much of that's just the first session's always like we're all learning the game and our characters and being like, wait, what can I do? Much less what should I do?
I kept forgetting what I was supposed to be trying to do.
And you know, I think I kind of lucked into some shit just because I went with it, because like the thing I initially set off to do, and this is what I love about these kinds of games, like we talked about, the little goals you give yourself.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that, because I had completely forgotten about Dawn questions.
Yeah, see, I was chasing my Dawn questions, and at first I was like, I didn't feel bad about it, because I'm like, no, it's what they're there for, whatever. But it was sort of like, well, I mean, I'm just doing this to go chase a Dawn question. It doesn't really have anything to do with the mystery or whatever. But I was like, but that's all right. It's a day. That's what the day is about.
Yeah.
But then it kind of ended up turning into an opportunity once I got that idea. So
yeah, just like the penny arcade, like framing yourself like hard into that, just like super great. Yeah, like it's. I love stuff like that because, you know, even though like there's no planning and I am not really plot, I don't have any plot, right? But there's, you know, a certain way I'm like, oh, okay, cool, like this is kind of how this game would go. And then it's like, I'm gonna be at the dirty picture show. I'm gonna be at the prostitute. Like, yeah, that's a fucking great way to start. I would not have done that, but
and that's how a movie would have started too.
Well,
yeah,
exactly. Such a great mechanic.
These characters and their spots.
That whole second part about getting her employed at the house, like I didn't have that planned at all. That was not my plan going in. My plan going in was to tick that box, have sex with a person, to clear your darkness. That was what I was going there for. Have sex with a person, get rid of my darkness. And then I thought on top of it, oh, well, maybe I can also talk to her. Maybe she'll know something. That didn't happen. And then it was while everybody else was taking their turns, I was like, wait, one of the things we need, the thread is get access to the bones. I'm like, what if we had an inside person and I could help get her a better life? It's like, so that stupid just chasing that checkbox turned into a really cool, fun opportunity.
That was really cool.
And I had no idea that there was a pimp there. And like, and
until there was.
And now you've gotten yourself into trouble.
Yeah,
a job.
I got some arrangements to keep.
I do like how these mechanics keep us from kind of hyper focusing on just pushing the investigation ahead, which I think is something that I've kind of screwed up in my character. Is like I've just been like, what's the next person to ask about?
Well, that's not a bad thing. No, it's a good balance. I mean, like I said,
overall we're kind of balanced out.
I initially kind of felt dumb for doing that and going, well, this has nothing to do with anything other than checking my stupid box. But whatever,
I guess
I'm going to go
it's a
and see
sort
what
of
happens.
yin-yang thing. Like I want to find more opportunities to spin outside of the main.
Yeah.
I did find, I was like, oh yeah, Paloma is like late for her appointment with Francis, and like let's also do the thing I was supposed to do, but like was late because I was at the picture show.
Yeah, and like there's like when Paloma was like sprawling out in the library when Mr. Beale was clearly like not interested, like the whole like fictional positioning thing happened. So like you got disadvantaged not because of a mechanical thing, but because of what was happening in the story. Whereas you can get advantage by doing something. So it's not like you can only get advantage by doing a move or doing this. It's like, oh, you can like put yourself in a good position or in a bad position if you want to have more fun, and do that, as well as playing to the mechanics or against them, if that's what you like.
And I played a little bit against mechanics there.
Yeah, and that's great. I love it because that introduces all sorts of fun stuff.
I'm definitely looking forward to more playtime with each other as well.
Yeah,
because I know this one was not that it was bad. Like I said, it worked out fine, but it was definitely the three of us having separate adventures.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun.
That's cool.
Of, like 3 beats of the individuals.
Yeah, and then everyone comes together.
No, it totally
we
worked.
did the tent poles far apart.
Yep.
And then now we have locations.
Grave robber, prostitute, the house. And now bring them together. But,
no, I definitely. Good. I mean, I'm just looking forward to everything. I think it seems like it's a really cool game.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to kind of. I'm not gonna say exploiting, but like playing with like Francis, like he's got a 3 presence, he's gonna bowl over anyone he talks to. But you know, when a 7 to 9 comes up or whatever, like he's got a cult that is very interested in doing stuff with him.
Oh, I forgot about that.
There's an infinite number of ways that could cause trouble. Like I'm just interviewing someone at their house and some fucking weird cult member shows up. Like all sorts of like, and everyone's got their own thing. So there's a lot of meaty opportunities to
like there could have been a couple of his worshippers who saw him go in there and be like, I saw Francis, he went in that house.
And like camp out or
all sorts of good stuff out around the house. Oh man.
I really liked everyone just jamming on their thing. I know like as a performer it can feel a little bad like pressing the button the get the brain juice, like I'm just gonna talk to people and have my 3 presents do the work. But like that's like the game is like that for a reason. Like if they didn't want you to do that, they wouldn't have given you a 2 presents and said to add something to it.
Add something to something.
Well, it totally makes sense. It makes sense that you're going to play to your strengths. It just makes sense.
Well, I'm sure there's some place
for character.
But that's also why, like, you know, when I fucking rolled that 4, doesn't matter.
Oh yeah.
It's like if that happened to you, you still would have had something just fuck up on you regardless of you having a 3 presents. You know?
I can
and you've all got like super cool arcs built in. So like as you go on, like you're gonna start marking up your painting and like bad shit's gonna happen. It's gonna be great. And the same for everyone else. Sorry, what were you saying?
Oh, I'm just thinking that eventually it will be in character for Francis Quinn to decide he's smart enough to handle something with reason.
Yep.
And
I've watched
everyone-
Paloma do
yeah.
this. I can do this.
They're like, oh no, Francis, you're great. You can do whatever you want. Everyone's gonna encourage you to do the thing.
Oh yeah.
Surrounded by yes men.
Get the halo
Yeah.
effect.
Yeah.
And then I'll roll like a 2 on something.
I'm sure
It
all
would
of
be
his
glorious.
I'm sure his worshippers will probably be like, "You're the smartest person I know.
Yeah.
You're totally smart,
yeah,
strong
and now we've
too.
got,
You
like-
should try to fight that guy."
yeah, you can push that guy off. And now we've got kind of like a little introduction and a little bit of meat on everyone. I can kind of like revisit both the threat and the game in general and see like where can I get my claws in a little bit deeper, knowing what we know, instead of just like going through the threat and be like, oh, this is the thing here. Okay, do that thing. Like have a little.
We have
bit.
another NPC. Okay.
I
Okay,
think,
cool. This happens.
I mean, I know I keep harping on it, but that's about the way it's a well-designed game. But I like it
Yeah.
because it's almost like it's so funny because none of us are by nature generally min-maxers.
Mhm.
But in a game like this, it almost pays off because the mechanics are there for a reason.
Oh yeah.
To
Yeah.
I do
compel the
want to
story.
keep pressing the button.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's like the three of us are generally like, yeah, whatever. We don't need
Where's
that.
some guts? I want to put
But
my
then
hands
you-
on them.
Give me the guts. Give me
This
the
game
guts.
encourages you to be like, yeah, no, try to take that box, try to get that thing. 'cause
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
gonna make
Yeah,
something cool
because it
happen.
leads into all the.
And
that
also,
we love.
and we like that kind of stuff because we are also trained to get ourselves into trouble.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, this would have helped someone who doesn't have that training
Yeah,
to do
yeah.
that without that. So like I was like, oh yeah, like me seeking out dead bodies is something that would get me in trouble.
Yeah.
I
And it like
that's
gives,
naturally
gives me an
attractive.
excuse to like kind of mess with stuff.
Yeah.
like I feel like this game is Brindlewood, but a next step, like it's a more complicated
Yeah.
Brindlewood.
Yeah.
So in a way, that's the tough part for me is like just trying to, because again, like I read the rules and I still don't like. I know there's one of our
Haven't
things you can do every
internalized.
dawn is, oh, did you have an echo in the night about?
Mm.
And I like
Yeah,
that's
I don't
a
know
whole
what the
thing
question and the
I
echo are
didn't
yet.
necessarily understand, and so there's like
Right.
going to be a lot of things we probably can do or can be chasing, but we don't know because we're like, what the fuck does that
Yeah.
even mean again?
And
You know?
the structure is so like nicely laid out. So like if you go into the character keeper, like, oh, I switched to dusk phase. It's like, cool. Here are the steps you do. You resolve playbook moves. You do a paint the scene. You do this. You do that.
yeah.
And so
Oh,
like
wow.
everything is like it, like having read games like Blades in the Dark. It's the heist fantasy game.
Oh.
Super great. But it like reads very mechanical. It like reads like
Mm.
do this, then do this, and roll this, and do this, and do that. But then you play it, and it's fucking great. It's so good.
Mhm.
And this is kind of the same thing. It's like it feels like there's very strict steps to follow each step of the way, and not knowing any better, that might feel kind of like board gamey or restrictive. But like, I like game designer brain like reads those and is like, oh, that's gonna make this, and this is gonna pull all these. This is and
Yeah.
it just makes cranking that machine so satisfying because
Well, you know, I
it is
like that
procedural, but it's
because-
creating the thing that we want.
especially when you're
Great.
new to a game, it's in a
Yeah.
weird way nice to have something. It's almost paralysis if it's too open. You're like, well, what do you
Yeah.
want to do? You can do anything. What do you want to do? And you're like,
I felt that way in a couple of the recent games. We're like,
Go
anything.
talk to a guy. I don't know. What do I want to? What are my choices here? Give me a choice. Don't tell me I can do anything.
Right.
I love that mechanic in this game too of like you step into the room, what tells you that they are living above their
Yeah.
means.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the
Scene stuff.
scene painting is I love that mechanic.
Yeah, it's so
And same
nice.
with like, I love that during character creation, the kind of stuff we do, where it's like, all right, we each pick a thing for each other's
Yeah.
Oh
room
yeah.
and all that kind of stuff. That's always fun when we're collaboratively building stories or rooms or characters or whatever.
Well, and if you've been like deep in your own character, getting more and more fine details there, it's really easy to just set that aside, look at a completely different character and go, yes, they have a crow.
Obviously, yeah.
Well, and it's so much
Anyway,
fun.
back
It's so
to
much
these
fun to
details.
play with a toy somebody gives you,
Yeah.
as opposed
yeah.
to being, as opposed to just being asked, "What toy do you want?"
Yeah.
It's like, here's this. What are you gonna do with that? Ooh,
Hmm.
good point. Good question. Very cool.
I can't wait to see the Gravekeeper come back. I can't wait to see what kind of trouble Sally gets into at the
Sally.
St. James Street house. All sorts of things could go wrong. I can't wait to see how more people react to Francis and how Francis
there's
reacts
little
to
time
that.
bombs awaiting us all over the place.
So many nice seeds planted that could explode so good. Yeah. So yeah, love it all.
Very cool.
Cool. Are we good for same time next week?
Yep.
Let me just
All right.
double check
Obviously.
to make sure I'm not.
It's negative 28 outside now,
Oh my God.
Celsius. So
Going nowhere.
I'm never leaving the house.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
good next. I'm good next.
I'm
week.
good next week.
Cool. Same time next week then.
Bitchin'.
And I'll write
Follow
the times
us
correctly
on Twitch.
Twitter and Facebook.
If you're watching this later, come to the channel and follow us so I can get 50 followers because that's an achievement. I like achievements.
Yeah.
Give me the numbers. Yeah, this is super fun. I'm super excited to see where this is. So this is like the recommended first threat. And I think it is intentionally a little tame, although not really. I'm really curious to see what happens when threats start piling up and
I feel like
all
Oh, no.
crazy shit starts happening.
Admittedly, that's what we'll see how this goes. But I do hope. I don't know. One of the problems I've had with some of the game, like everything we've played has been fun. Everything. Like there's never been a thing we've done where I have not had fun. So that's all that really matters. But there's definitely been games we played that were sort of frustrating me because it just sort of felt like, because like you said, it's all about those dopamine hits. You know, it's about those like I want an achievement, or I want to improve, or I want to win, I want to meet a goal. So like when the games are pretty much like, yeah, you're pretty much failing all the time and things just get worse and worse for you until you die. It's kind of like leaves me really unsatisfied at the end of it. 'Cause it's like, oh, so I just basically just got more and more miserable till we failed. Yay.
Dopamine. Yeah, that's my dopamine hits.
So it's nice when it, I don't know, I like to feel like something is achievable, or it's like, yes, well, yeah, you can do good things. You're not like fucked. You're not like, oh yeah, no,
Or
you're gonna die. It's just a matter of time.
Even the way it's set up, like with Brindlewood Bay, we were like hurtling towards doom still.
Yeah.
But because we were like, I kept pressing the button. It's like humanity where we're like, we're all fucked because we keep buying stuff from.
But we did. We solved everything, didn't we? Or we always like,
and we solved things. Whereas Trophy, it was just like there was a point. I think when like my arm got bitten, I was just like, fuck. Okay. Like this is gonna keep getting worse.
There was one that really bummed me out because it was like afterwards, Mark basically was like, "Oh no, you couldn't win." It was the Kobayashi Maru. It's like, no, there's no way you could have achieved your goal. It was impossible. And I was like, what's the goal you're playing for then?
The bounty hunter one when you made, I think I hadn't seen Cowboy Bebop before watching that one and didn't realize that like it wasn't a game where you're Boba Fett and you like get your bounty.
Right.
You are Spike and you never get your bounty.
You maybe get a bowl of ramen.
Yeah. You're Spider-Man and you can maybe catch the bad guy, but like you're gonna get fired.
J. Jonah Jameson's still gonna say you're a villain.
Yeah, that game is on the back burner and I'm interested in getting back to it in a few months.
The Star Trek game?
The bounty hunter game, the Cowboy Bebop one.
Yeah.
Bebop, boop,
Beep. Yeah, needs some work, but it's just a matter of work. I don't think it's anything broken. Cool. That was fun. So yeah, I'll read some more and get it working. And yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's 10:30.
I know. We played an hour since I said I'd like to stop, so I really need to go.
Yeah,
I'm like
so we
so
say
tired.
goodbye to the internet now.
Yeah. You guys don't have to go, but I have to go. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the stream. Goodbye, everyone. Thank you for hanging out with us. This is super fun. I'll see you next week, hopefully. Bye.